What's up, man?
But what it is, I don't talk to police. I don't talk to kids. What's up, Sean?
Fuck with me, man. It's the reason for the season. Claressa Shields, Kate Scott. Scratch that.
Mm.
Kate Scott
Yo.
taking on the WBC, WBA for the middleweight championships of the world. Kate Scott defending with 5 fights, or is it 6 fights? 5-0-1, right?
Yeah, 6 fights.
So we've already had such barn burners like Ray J predictably beat the shit out of Orlando Brown.
20 best picks this year.
That's what hey, fuck you. But yeah, hey, what people try to get on me for getting some misses lately, but I did not miss Ray J beating up Orlando Brown. So I don't understand.
Objectively speaking, it is going to be one of the biggest fights of the year in boxing. So, it's good you got that one right. That's the one you want to get right.
Floyd Mayweather wasn't ringside for Lamont Roach Williams Zepeda, but he is ringside for Ray J versus Orlando Brown.
That says a lot. The stars are out. They got rappers. They got boxing media members that don't normally go to fights.
It's true. It's true. Man, Claressa Shields, she has gotten there.
She's gotten there. And it's funny because me and you have this running joke where we say Claressa Shields is the best fighter in the post Mayweather era, which the joke doesn't stick as much now because Crawford beat Canelo, so it's now people look at him as that. But I mean, 2 gold medals, 3-time undisputed, 19-time world champion, 21 pending. All right, so the numbers don't lie. What do you think, Sean?
That meant pending?
Pending. Okay, 21 times.
Well, if Kaye Scott at 5-0-1, the 42-year-old who's got muscles to burn, has anything to say about it, Claressa Shields might just lose tonight, Brendan.
And it might be one of the biggest upsets. Mate, stop that shit. She not being
that shit up, mate.
We in Atlanta.
You gotta take the gloves off and stomp a bitch out.
Listen. If Sean and myself get a little out of pocket, guys, it's Claressa Shields fight night. It's Zeus Network. You're not gonna get the normal, professional live stream. We're gonna have fun with it today.
We're gonna have fun with it.
Because a lot of you guys are on social media anyway, complaining about how boring boxing is to begin with right now. So let's liven it up. Let's turn it up a bit.
They said I had no sense of humor for my Rolly interview.
They did?
Yeah. So let's be cringeworthy as fuck and turn up for tonight's fights in Atlanta. We got a super chat already from our guy Carson. Carson Merck said, please rank the verses from worst to first on Still Trippin'. Still tripping on fofos, wrapped in phobos, pimping faux hoes.
You're blowing on the endo, GameCube Nintendo, 5% tech so they can see up in my window. I'll say Mike Jones is 1. Mike Jones is definitely number 1. And then I'll say
he has the worst verse.
I like his verse the most.
Explain yourself.
I just like the way it sounds. Fofos, I'm tipping, whoop, ripping, catch me lane, switching with the pain dripping, turn your neck and your day missing.
Me and Slim, we
ain't tripping, no finger tripping, no syrup sipping.
Like do or die, I'm pole pipping.
The car stop, keep spinning.
Still spinning. All right.
My gasoline always supreme.
It takes grinding to be a king. It takes grinding to be a king.
I'm telling you, he's giving you the blueprint, Sean.
Yeah.
I'll say this is my opinion. Mike Jones 1, Slim Thug 2, Paul Walker be 3.
You know what's funny is Slim Thug, I thought he was just saying GameCube Nintendo so he could finish his rhyme. It is actually called the GCN by Nintendo.
What is?
The GameCube.
Okay.
It is not the Nintendo GameCube. It is the GameCube Nintendo.
Oh, wow. So he was right, and you were wrong the whole time.
Yeah. I thought he put Nintendo at the end of the console name just so he could have it rhyme, but he actually pronounced it the right way.
Turns out he exposed you as not being a real gamer like he is.
That's right. Slim Thug was obviously a real gamer, like a boss. Okay, I'll rank the verses now. Who is this coming to the ring, Brennan?
So right now, this is
Asha Puerto Rican, like Brendan.
Ashlyn Lozada, all action, come forward, southpaw. I had a chance to watch her fight on what was supposed to be Angel Leah versus Rice Aleem in May. She's fun. She's a fun fighter. I mean, I don't proclaim to be a women's boxing expert, but from the one time I seen her fight, she was pretty fun to watch coming forward. But listen, we're here for the globe. We're here for the globe. Entertain. So we had a schedule for this time, so we're gonna have to make good use of our time while Ashlyn Lozada's fighting. Maybe she'll give us something to talk about. But she's cool. She's aggressive.
You don't know about Paulette Guesta though.
I don't know shit. No, I'm not
like about boxing.
I don't. I just
about Paulette Guesta.
I just now watched Tam Tebow today because you were like, you said BT, you gotta watch this girl. She could be Claressa's toughest opponent. And everyone was saying that this is the girl to give Claressa her toughest fight since Savannah Marshall. So I watched it. Huh?
It still lose to her.
Probably still lose to her, but she's really good.
That would have took all the fun out of it. Then Claressa wouldn't have responded on Twitter and got competitive. If I would have just, she's the best threat out there, but Claressa will still beat her, then that wouldn't have been enough to tug on the competitive drive of Claressa Shields. I had to leave that part out. That was the subtext, though, because when I'm saying the biggest threat since Savannah Marshall, you could almost include in parentheses who won 3 rounds.
Correct.
It
wasn't like split decision or a majority.
Yeah, right.
So for those of you just tuning in, right? Ashlyn Lozada is about to fight, and then you got Troy Isley versus Joseph Hicks in the main event. I know all you guys are really excited about that. And then you got Claressa Shields, the best fighter in the post Mayweather era.
Okay, right. So back to that joke. Well, it's not really that much of a joke, but we were ready in case Canelo beat Crawford to kind of to get a rise out of people, but also to give props to Claressa. We were ready to drop a video. We had the idea all ready to pull the trigger. Only problem was Crawford schooled Canelo and beat him convincingly. But we had an idea that we were going to drop a video the next day. The greatest American fighter since Floyd Mayweather is ... and then be like Claressa Shields,
the GOAT,
So just as a way to kind of also, stick a knife in these emotional fan bases of the current fighters like Haney and Shakur and the rest. So
the usual,
it would have been fun.
Yeah, but it was not to be. God had other plans. So a lot of people shot in the chat. They're frustrated. They're asking where the fight is at. The fight is on DAZN. This is not DAZN.
It's on DAZN.
This
is says in the title, Claressa Shields, K. Scott live round by round and watch party.
Correct.
It does not say full fight.
Correct. And we're definitely having a party. We're definitely having fun.
Yeah.
Definitely keeping it loose. If y'all got any exceptional questions y'all want to ask Sean or even myself, you can go ahead and you can ask.
Well, I still didn't answer Carson's question. So I'm going to say, it's not a lot of separation between the 3 verses and still tipping, right? It's not like.
What's your 1 to 3?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Paul Wall and be biased. Okay, right? I'm gonna go with the white guy first, right? Since that's what people would say anyways if I put Paul Wall first, so I'll just get out in front of it. And I'll put Slim Thug second and Mike Jones third.
So we both agree that Slim Thug is second.
Yes.
Just have Mike Jones and Paul Wall.
You think Paul Wall is worse on it?
I like all others are good. I don't like saying there's a worse on that song. I like that song. It's a song I listen to a lot.
I'm a player. Ain't no dat. Hoes want to know what I'm back.
He was talking some real stuff.
Yeah. Someone says Zattel is fried. I have still not smoked weed all year.
Yeah, he hasn't.
I wouldn't mind having a beer tonight though.
Yeah. They want to know what strain you're on. Are you on the Hardine? Did the boxing voice, the Nest supply you with some hard? No, I'm joking.
No, nothing yet. Still dry all 2026.
Yeah.
I'm waiting until Christmas.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Go full calendar year?
I want to go full year. It's been since the Haney Norman card. What's up, Maria? No, I'm actually an idiot without weed.
That's what I'm saying. You just get high off of life.
Yeah. All right. Lozado. What's the Bob Arum joke about? Go ahead.
But Puerto Ricans, when Cotto was fighting the stabbings in New York, they went down 50%. And Xander's a great fighter, so maybe it won't be a lot quite like. It'll be about 30% if Xander wins.
If he had beaten Ennis, maybe 30-40% potentially, but he lost. He's still a good fighter. All right, Lozado and Cuesta. I'm gonna say Lozado wins the fight.
Yeah, she
from the first 30 seconds.
She got a better base. Tight hook there. The other girl, Cuesta, she's just tying up. She's got a lot of her weight on that front foot.
It's a WBA title fight, right?
It is. What weight class is this?
I feel like, again, man, just
like
bantamweight, I think.
Huh?
I think it was bantamweight. This shows you how good your expert commentators are tonight.
I don't follow women's boxing.
So prepared. Yeah. Brandon said, I already cover enough niche boxing shit with Japanese boxing. I can only do so much.
That's what I'm saying. Like people get on my case on True School. They're like, BT, you got to cover more women's boxing. And it's like, you guys know the amount of effort and energy it takes to cover Japanese boxing? Like, it's a lot.
What's up, Panama? We got Kevin Hawthorne in the chat. Says he's from Lakeland, Florida. Is that South Florida?
That's not South Florida, boy. Shout out to Lakeland. That's like...
You don't have to say it so dismissively. You know anything about Troy Isley's opponent?
Joseph Hicks.
Go to the box rack. Go ahead.
Box rack.
Go to the box rack.
I feel like I've seen him fight, but I can't remember. A lot of these guys, I watch them fight, and I'd be forgetting about them. Say, if I see them fight again, who did he fight?
Raul Gallardo says, salute.
He fought, so he lost to Wendy Toussaint in a split decision, and he has a win over Ronnie.
Ammo?
Yes, that's the Asian guy from New York. I believe he was a firefighter.
I know a little something about boxing.
He has a win over Ronnie Osteon. You know Ronnie from we can see Ronnie. Ronnie was at where was it? Split T Boxing. We were there. He was there that day we interviewed Tio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has one of Ronnie.
All right. Yeah, I know. The only guy I know is Wendy Toussaint on the record, and he lost to him by a split.
So. Also managed by Dave McWater, who we know is the manager of Teofimo Lopez.
Got it.
I mean,
sorry, that was my computer.
It's all good. Troy Isley, he just got out of that Top Rank contract. He was once a guy that they had world championship aspirations for. He stagnated development-wise, so
got out of or got released from?
Well, he got released.
Okay.
Like many guys, Andres Cortez.
It happens.
Top Rank released a bunch of fighters that were undefeated.
I like Troy, by the way. I'm just...
He's a good fighter, steady fighter.
Trying to keep it funky on the stream, that's all.
Okay.
That's all. So. All right. Who's another famous Lozado I'm thinking of? Daniel Lozado? To the Google I go. Famous Lozado.
Antonio Losada, who knocked out Felix Verdejo and took his the Mexican guy.
Okay, there you go. Look at you.
That was years ago. How could I forget? Because Verdejo was supposed to be like the next hope of Puerto Rican boxing. So
Puerto Rican. Lyle Lozado. That's who the fuck I was thinking of. Sorry. Lyle Lozado, who was from Brooklyn and fought Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
I think I might have two. I might be combining two people at once here. No, he fought Ali in an exhibition. That's right. Did he play for the Raiders? Is that why I know who this person is? Because I cover the Raiders? Yep. He won a Super Bowl with the Raiders, Brennan. And he is actually a Hall of Famer.
Look at you. All the NFL Blitz trivia is paying off.
And he's from Brooklyn. He had a lot of things going for him.
So right now, guys, we're like in the last 30 seconds around.
This is Lozada. This is not Lozada.
This is Lozada, and there you go. Nice right hook, a right uppercut, and a right hook to the head from Lozada. Firmly in control right now.
Good little footwork, in and out. 10 seconds left in the second. Good combination on the rope.
Nice combinations.
Yeah. She's got the Mexican fighter with the, the burly build fighting on the back foot. That's not a good recipe for success for Cuesta. Maybe she'll look to make her move if Lozada is a little bit of a front runner, which can be the case sometimes with fighters from the Caribbean. So maybe then she'll look to make her move if Lozada slows down. But barring Lozada, oh look, Brian Custer's ringside too. But barring Lozada slowing down, this is not going to work even a little bit for Cuesta. Shorter, burly build, kind of fighter without a lot of twitchiness, trying to just fight backing up against a more athletic southpaw. It's not a recipe for success.
If this continues, the question will become, will Lozada put the exclamation point and get her up out of here?
And speaking of Puerto Rican southpaw women fighters, let's not forget Amanda Serrano, the 8-division world champion MMA boxing star.
7 of them vacant by the WBO.
I like that.
I like Amanda Serrano too, but
that was good though.
You said we're keeping it funky on this stream, right? We're keeping
yeah. 7 of them vacant by the WBO. Yeah, that was good.
Of course, it's the WBO, the Puerto Rican belt, like for the Puerto Rican fighter.
We got a super chat from Jorge Lara Classic. Thank you, brother. What's up, Boxing Professor? Jerome says, show us the match on your TV. That will quickly end the stream and get us a copyright strike, Jerome. I'm sorry.
And then Demetrius leads to us.
All right, Lozada is really going to work here in the third round. 30 seconds to do it. Landing a few combinations with both hands. And again, backing Cuesta up. Cuesta ties her up with her back onto the ropes. But Lozada in firm control of this fight. Now Cuesta takes her first chance at really trying to close the gap. She switches southpaw, takes a step back, eats a jab. Nice shot by Cuesta right there, though. Left hand, looping left hand over the top.
Hey, Cuesta.
So again, she might just be, waiting.
Ooh, nicely left
southpaw a few times. Backs on the ropes. Again, doesn't have the length of the speed advantage, but it's early. It's only the third round.
That little overhand left out of the southpaw stance, it's having some success here on Lozada. She got to keep setting that up.
No double straight left hand in a combination by Lozada. Follows up with more combinations, but Cuesta trying to flurry her way off the ropes. Lands 2 right hands, gets back to the center of the ring, wipes her nose a little bit. Nice left uppercut to the body by Lozada. She snuck that shot in. You could tell she's watched Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, she's picking her shots nicely. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I feel like Amanda Serrano has some sort of association with her career, like as a man or something. I think I saw a picture.
Time to hit the Google machine. Another left uppercut to the body. Sweeping left hand to the body. Straight left hand up top here in the final 10 seconds. She's definitely watched some Amanda Serrano. You could tell by those left hand body shots. Out of the southpaw stance.
So she doesn't manage Lozada, but she's praised her a couple times on Instagram, made a couple posts about her and things like that. Someone
said, Alberto Martinez says, where's Radio Raheem? Why can't we get a three-way with you guys? Pause.
Yeah.
Yo, pause. Flagrant. No, we need to do it.
I want to make it very clear. I love Radio Raheem. Before I even had a YouTube channel and even thought about doing YouTube, I was watching Radio Raheem on Max Boxing and Seconds Out. So if I ever got the chance to collab with Sean and Radio Raheem, I would be very honored.
Yep. Raheem is one of the best that's ever done it.
He's the big homie.
He is the big homie. We'll do it eventually. We'll do a 3-way all night long if people want.
All night long.
Matt Borgeson with the super chat says, I feel like Claressa has to go down to fight Michaela Mayer, or she will never get credit of being a GWO. Hopefully she squeezes down to 54. We love that fight. We
love that fight. We feel like that's one of the super fights of, I don't even want to say women's boxing, but boxing. Those are 2 great fighters. I think for Claressa Shields, for me, Michaela Mayer Tam Tebow or Tam Tebow, Michaela Mayer, whichever order you want it, and she can ride off into the sunset. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I think it would be a great fight week promotion. Let's keep it real. Like, white girl, blonde hair from California, used to be in a rock band. Claressa Shields, Black American gold medalist, selling out Detroit, selling out Atlanta. That kind of contrast. They both are not shy at all with talking shit. They will talk a lot of shit. There's a little bit of competitiveness and resentment under the surface. Yeah, they're cool. Yes, they were Olympic teammates who got matching Olympic tattoos. But, maybe Claressa seeing Michaela Mayer get that top ranked deal right out of the amateurs while she kind of had to struggle to get her promotional situation. It worked for her in the long run because she made it her way. And now with Selena selling out venues and everything, but, she had to get it a different path than getting signed to a promoter right out the gate, getting ESPN like Michaela got. So I think they'll talk a lot of shit. And then Michaela Mayer is one of the warriors, male or female, of this generation. She's never in a bad fight, whether it's the two Sandy. We'll have to repeat this probably later tonight.
We will.
But like, she's the two Sandy Ryan fights were wars. Hamadouche. I always see everyone calls her Hamadouche. It's Maïva Hamadouchel.
Is it really?
I'm convinced that it is.
Well, I'm sorry for being an unsophisticated American. Like,
I doubt this broad's name is Douche. It's got to be Duchel. So, yeah, Iwa Brodnica, the Nigerian fighter. She even made Natasha Jonas fun to watch.
That's tough too, because she's a British amateur at that. British
Southpaw
too. Like,
but Michaela Mayer is always in a good fight. She always throws combinations. Claressa Shields will be more than happy to exchange with her as the bigger woman with better hand speed. So they'll scrap. It'll be a scrap, and that contrast will play well in selling the fight. The history they have together, their personalities, talking a lot of shit on fight week, and I think Claressa beats her, but Michaela's gonna make it a fight.
I said earlier, while we were waiting for this to start, that if Michaela Mayer wins, they're gonna do a movie about her. She beats Claressa, we'll do a movie about her.
The problem is she's not gonna win. But it'll be a good fight though. She'll definitely, as my guy Thomas Lamana says, she'll shake some ass.
Do you give her more of a chance of beating Claressa than Tam Tebow, or less? Less.
And I don't think Tam Tebow beats her either, but I give Tebow a better shot because she's younger, she punches harder, she's taller, and she's a southpaw. I just don't know if this nice. What would you say? She graduated with a few degrees.
Graduated. She has degrees. She speaks all these languages. Like she's just sophisticated.
You might be too nice.
Yeah.
To beat Claressa Shields.
And I watched earlier after I started watching her fights. I started binge. I watched one of her interviews with Ness from the Boxing Voice, and shout out to Ness because he did a whole 30-something minute interview with her a year ago, right before she even became champion. But she said that she boxes because she loves it. That whole spiel about I box because I love it. I don't have to. I don't need the money. I have other avenues.
Yo, no, you're not being.
I wanna, but I want to get the most out of my talent and max out everything I possibly have. That whole thing.
Well, I mean, she's already unified champion in like 5 fights. So she's really good, but I think Shields beats her, but that's the most interesting fight for her out there. And it would be for undisputed at middleweight. So I like it. But first, Michaela Mayer. Someone said cultural appropriation is lame. Fuck is you talking about? Leave it alone. All right. We all play Japanese video games. We all wear Jordans that were made in a Chinese sweatshop, designed by a German called Tinker Hartfield, and endorsed by Michael Jordan. Okay, it's a big world out there. We're all sharing foods and music and art and things. I'm wearing a Knicks shirt, won by black guys, owned by an Irish guy. welcome to this place called Planet Earth, bro. We're all sharing each other's cultures here. That's what tonight is about. Claressa Shields sharing her culture and beating up Kaye Scott.
That's what I'm saying with the world. And to quote one of your older videos, Sean, Claressa Shields is our countrywoman.
Yes.
All right.
She's an American great athlete. She's a generational American athlete.
This term, Sean, generational talent. I hear it get thrown around so loosely in boxing. Okay. This is one of the only fighters in boxing that actually is a generational talent. If you're going to use that term for anybody.
I'm saying generational athlete.
Well, forget boxing, just athlete.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Serena Williams.
What's the gymnastics girl? Simone Biles.
Joey
Chestnut.
Yes. How could we ever forget the American national treasure, Joey Chestnut?
So don't be surprised, Sean, that Kaye will give her a good fight. Okay.
Let's ponder this, Sean. Let's say Kaye Scott does the unthinkable. What does it rank amongst the biggest upsets in boxing history?
That's pretty big, man. Someone with 6 professional fights who's 42 years old.
Does it eclipse Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson?
No.
Okay.
I mean, actually, it does, because Buster Douglas was a top 10 in his prime heavyweight, like who was 6'5" and had always flashed talent. Kaye Scott is a 42-year-old. Like, she is not supposed to be. In some ways, it would be actually.
Anthony Fowler, the former British champion at 154 pounds, I believe, he was tweeting earlier about how I guess Kaye Scott used to spar in Sheffield at the training center like 15 years ago, and he was saying like, listen, this girl was 30 like 15 years ago, and Claressa Shields ain't fighting the best like Katie Taylor. Like,
okay, well, and we all know that and have acknowledged that her talent pool isn't as deep as Katie Taylor. Like those weight classes have multiple times more fighters in the weight classes competing in the given time, and I think less than Cuesta's getting busted up. This might be a stoppage. Straight left hand rocks her back with 20 seconds left in the 6th round. Lazada really just been out in front this whole fight with her advantage in athleticism, hand speed. She's built it up to the body too. She's put water in the basement, and Cuesta obviously respects her power because she refuses to kind of sell out and try to put on a lot of the pressure on Lazada. So that'll do it for the 6. But yeah, I mean, Katie Taylor has had to fight in a lot. I've said this before, though. I think Claressa's dominance is the equalizer to Katie's superior talent pool. Katie's had a lot of close calls. She lost to Chantel Cameron. She should have lost at least one fight probably to Amanda Serrano. She had those Delphine Persoon. Those were very controversial fights.
I thought she lost the first one for sure.
A lot of people did. So, but Katie Taylor is one of the greatest fighters of all time in women's boxing too. But I think the fact that Shields has hardly lost rounds, let alone even come really close to losing a fight, is a bit of an equalizer for the gap in the talent pool in the 2 weight classes, the areas they've been fighting at. And it's some fighters come along like Vlad Klitschko. They don't have a lot of great dance partners at a given time. They struggle to find quality opposition in their era, in their weight class.
That's why over the years, it's like we wait for these girls to emerge. I mean,
Shadeja was one we wanted to see. And I do wish Claressa would have taken that fight, but
Shadeja
beat Lanny Daniels, who beat her, and she beat Franchon Cruz Dezern, who beat her. So it's not the same as actually beating her, but still.
So, Sean, Kaye Scott, I did a little homework on her.
Oh, yeah, real quick. Super chat from Matt Borgeson. The meet at 160, even it's not like they're going to get a KO. Talking about Michaela and Claressa. I definitely think that's a big fight to make is Claressa and Michaela. So it'll sell out. The contrast, the shit talk, the history as teammates. There's still a little bit of resentment there from when Claressa was like, I've known you, Michaela Mayer, since we were Olympic teammates. I've known you for a decade, and I just met Alicia Baumgartner for 5 minutes. But we're both black, so I kind of don't want to pick you against her, and may the best woman win. That made Michaela a little.
What's the term, Sean? You got to stay on code.
Yeah,
stay on
so
code.
She did. She at least afforded Michaela a "May the best woman win." She did that. She at least made it 50-50.
So Lozada still, I mean, Cuesta's hanging tough. I don't think he's really winning rounds, but he's hanging tough and closing the gap a little bit. Lozada's having to box and move and get on her toes.
Yep. Yeah, a little bit heavier breathing now from Lozada. It's a little more arm weary this round.
Yep. Her punches have a little bit of fat on them now.
She's tying up. She switches stances kind of out of exhaustion a little bit, like not able to just keep form as a southpaw, just switched orthodox to get closer and then tie up. That does it for the 7th. She's way ahead.
Yeah, all she got to do is just get to the end, and she'll win. She'll win a points decision.
Andy Ruiz Naiba.
Oh Lord.
So
TNT had a good run. The first 2 cards, I went to both of them: Bell, Mason, and Zepeda and Rowe.
You literally went to both.
I've been to every single TNT card ever in history, and it's going to end September 4th because I won't be at that fight.
No.
The highlight of that card, Sean, will be Alan Chavez fighting. He's fighting Erdeson Garcia.
Someone Gio said because she's a narcissist regarding Claressa. Look, in our years of covering fighters, they kind of all become narcissists at some point if they're good enough.
Listen, man, and normally I have a problem with it, but not with her. She's actually great. I mean, I don't want to say no names. Y'all can read between the lines, but like, there's a lot of fighters that are narcissists that are not like a quarter of great as Claressa Shields. And you can say, oh well, BT it's women's boxing, but no, 2 gold medals. Forget before even talking about professional. She has a gold medal, and she's from America. No one has done that except Andre Ward in the last 25 plus years in America.
That's a good point. You got to slowly sip your coffee as you make some of these points, though.
Yes, I'll make sure I have a coffee nice and loaded up.
I never have drank coffee before, chat.
Never?
Nope.
I'm actually shocked.
When I have to sit in the Starbucks across the street from Cashman Middle School here in Las Vegas, it smelled like shit in the morning. And so I just could never bring myself to try coffee.
I wasn't a big coffee drinker until probably like the last year or so.
Good right hooks to the body by Lozada, about a minute left in the 8th. She's done a lot of good body work in this fight. And I think that comes from watching Amanda Serrano a lot. Oh, yeah. Wait, you said you had some background on
Lozada. I was just saying that Amanda Serrano isn't her manager or anything like that, but Amanda Serrano has publicly praised her a couple of times. You see
the eyes there, chat. See, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know who this girl was 25 minutes ago. I watch her for 2 minutes half-heartedly, bullshitting with Brendan, and I go,
Amanda Serrano.
Amanda Serrano's
a big star in boxing. Can't dance with Ryan Garcia.
Okay, chat. The lore behind that quote that Brendan just did is we were at my old gym, Barry's Boxing here in Vegas.
Great gym.
So Davis is having his media workout for fight week of Ryan and Tank, and I like Leonard Ellerbe. I'm cool with Leonard Ellerbe. Funny enough, our kids go to the same school now, and I know better with Leonard. It's not that I'm a pussy and I didn't want to ask the questions, because I've always asked good questions and tough questions, but I literally know Leonard Ellerbe is going to intercede anytime I try to ask Tank on this fight week about Teofimo or Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. And I've already asked Tank all that stuff before and after this fight week anyways. But Leonard's right there. And so I tell Brendan when we're pulling up to Barry's, I'm like, bro, you got to ask Tank about Teo and Shakur and those things, because he knows that I know that he's going to do that if I try.
Yeah.
So Me and Marcos Villegas, we're just we're throwing our questions, and then finally, who'd you ask about? Shakur or Tio? I think it was Tio.
Oh no, I asked Tank about Devin Haney,
and Tank he goes, and then Leonard Ellerby goes, Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
And Leonard and Tank goes, my man to Leonard.
To this day, sometimes I'll just be hanging out with Sean and I'll be like, Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, it's a stupid inside joke. We have a lot of them.
Yeah.
Ban wigs in female boxing. As somebody who has a haircut that kind of looks like a wig, I can't talk. TSM Harden super chat says, BT, I saw Yuga finally responded to you again.
Oh yeah, shout out to Yuga Osaki, man, one of the best young fighters in the world. I got a picture right there. I actually just put that there recently. Yeah, he responded to me. I think he'll fight for the world title probably like in the next 6 to 8 months, and he'll be world champion. Good to see Yuga responding.
Will Shields win by decision or knockout? Judging by the law of probability, decision. Because she has 3 knockouts and 18 wins, right?
Correct.
What's the percentage on that? Let's not even go to the calculator here for at least.
I'm gonna say like 23 out of 18.
3 out of 18 would be
like 20-something%.
Hold on. I'm gonna say.
What you call it, Sean? You have a degree.
I'm trying.
That's to you, champ.
I'm gonna say like 16 point. Hold on. Wait, I'm doing this mental math. I'm gonna say roughly 16.5%.
Carry the decimal.
Can I just be in the ballpark here? 16.5%. Okay, people in the chat are saying 16. Sean, you look high. Did you smoke one? I did not smoke. I have not smoked all year. See? There's no red veins in my eyes.
That's just actually that's just how Sean is.
Yeah.
He's just like that.
Oh, now there might be a little watery because I did that. Claressa Shields in the locker room smiles. And says, yeah, she does this. It's pretty cool. Great smile. Great smile.
Yeah. That guy behind her has, what is that, a saxophone or?
Great smile from Claressa Shields. You know, everybody not everybody, because obviously if everybody didn't like her, she wouldn't have a strong fan base too. But a lot of people not liking her makes me want to double down and just cheerlead for her that much more.
Well, same here, because she's actually great.
She is. Even if there is only like 50 fighters ranked at heavyweight or 42, something like that.
I mean, she's still number one.
Still number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
A lot of it too, Sean, though, is people just don't like women's boxing to begin with. In general, doesn't matter who it was. They don't like Katie Taylor. They don't like Serrano. They don't like Ashlyn Losada.
I mean, to be honest, I was saying it on Sean's last week. I was like, a lot of her fame lately has been being generated from tabloid stuff, dating a like washed up rapper whose divorce wasn't finalized and all. But you know what? Brendan? Who gives a fuck, bro?
Yes.
Who gives a fuck?
If we look at all the other guys in boxing, they generate fame off the tabloids too. I mean, Devin Haney with India Love and Shakur, the brawl in the parking lot, and most of the biggest stars in boxing have generated more fame because of the tabloids. So why is it so bad when she does it?
We're coming off a previous president that shit his pants probably and liked to fondle kids when they were up at the podium at the White House, and then a current president that is like in the Epstein files. So who cares if she's dating Papoose and the divorce with Remy Ma isn't finalized? We got bigger problems.
I'm saying that's their business.
Yeah.
They want to know. El Jefe on the chat wants to know from you, Sean. When are you going to attend your first Zupa boxing show?
I don't know, man. I don't think they're a huge fan of me in those parts.
I want to answer. Well, not for you, but I'll say with Zuffa boxing, it's a different way to apply. You like there's way more hoops to
You
jump
go
through.
through the UFC portal, Brendan.
Yeah, you got to go through the UFC portal, Sean. You got to make an account. They got to approve your account, and if they don't approve your account, you can't even apply. So you got to take an extra step, and you might not even get past step one.
Yeah, I applied for one fight previously. It was Jayo Pataya against Brandon Glanton. They said no. So I took that as a hint. And I took the hint, you know? I see media sometimes, understandably, you know, kind of voice their displeasure when they're not allowed to cover an event.
Yeah.
I mean, unless somebody asks like they just have now, you know, I'll tell the truth about what's going on. But I'm not, when I don't cover Ryan and Connor next month at the T-Mobile, I'm just gonna kind of shut the fuck up and go about my business and do a live here. And
that's it.
Guys, be sure to tune in and support that night because I won't be at T-Mobile.
Exactly, and that'll make up for him not covering the fight. So make sure y'all lock in with Sean that week.
Yeah. What's up, Attorney Bailey? Wanted to see if Emmanuel Tego would have KO'd Mercado. Nah, not happening.
That was not happening. Hell no.
That's the guy that Ryan knocked out a couple years ago, right? From Ghana. Was he from Ghana?
He's from Ghana. He's trained in South Florida. He used to spar with George Kambosos Jr. and Xander Zayas and all them guys, but nah, that wasn't gonna happen.
No.
And you know what? He made sure of it by missing weight by 10 pounds.
That gives you an idea of what his idea was of his chances against
his self-belief, chat, was not up to par.
All right, Lazada has won.
There you go.
Canelo Mobili.
Really good fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be entertaining. I got Canelo.
I don't know. I kind of want picking Billy, but I haven't really thought too deeply about it yet.
Me neither. I mean, I have yet to really crack open the tapes and watch Mobili Martinez over again.
Yeah, I haven't watched it since they fought.
He might just be too much for Canelo at Canelo's age. Canelo looks kind of, when he was on the jump rope a week ago, I wasn't impressed. He looked kind of going through the motions, but he's more than 2 months out from the fight. I think stylistically, Mobili would have normally have always played right into Canelo's hands. But this is an older Canelo, hasn't fought in a year,
of course,
made a lot of money.
If this is the Canelo Alvarez that was Zach Thomas, you know, when he fought Billy Joe Saunders, I'm picking Canelo all day. But this isn't Canelo that was Zach Thomas.
Zach Thomas Canelo might have beaten Terrence Crawford.
What I'm saying is that
David Benavidez, the version that fought Caleb Plant.
We got to explain the Zach Thomas reference. Now, guys, Canelo Alvarez is very stocky and he's got broad shoulders. And back in 2021, you know, he was more defined for you know, whatever reason. For whatever reason, he looked like an NFL linebacker. He looked like Zach Thomas from the Miami Dolphins in like 2003. Short, stocky, strong, ready to run through a wall to achieve his greatness.
For those of you either younger than us or don't care about football or the Miami Dolphins, go look up Zach Thomas and you will see a guy that looked a lot like Canelo did 5 years ago at super middleweight. Go ahead and do that for us, chat.
That's your homework assignment. Go type in Zach Thomas 2003 Miami Dolphins.
Canelo will be seeking to time Mobili between those winging punches. Yeah, I agree. And I think that's what I mean. Mobili comes straight forward. He is fast. He is kind of explosive. He punches hard. He's very physically strong and has that. But he also isn't as strong in the second half of fights as he is in the first half of fights. But Canelo's stamina isn't the best these days either, and has had, you know, numerous problems with stamina throughout his career.
Fighting
other moments where he's shorted up and had a number of fights where that was a problem that got cleaned up for him, but it's reared its ugly head throughout his career at various spots too. So we'll see.
we got an interesting comment in the chat, Sean, from Hyro. He says, "When are they going to free Jamal Harvey? You guys used to talk about Jamal Harvey, but not no more."
Thank you, Coach Sonny Ra, for the super chat. I like Jamal Harvey a lot, but it's not a big puncher, and he doesn't have the frame to move up multiple weight classes. He's only 5'4", fighting at. He might have already been fighting at 35, but maybe 30. I think he can go to 30 and 35, maybe even 40. But he's not a big guy.
There really hasn't been
a lot sturdy though. He's built very sturdy, but
very sturdy. There hasn't been a lot to talk about. The MVP is burying him deep on these women's boxing cards on the prelims. So I mean, who is he really like? He hasn't fought anybody. Like, there's not a lot to talk about. He's just kind of moving along as a prospect should at this stage.
He's got fast hands though in a deep bag.
We've always thought that Jamal Harvey could become world champion. Do you still hold true to that, Sean? Do you think he'll go? Yeah. Because for those that don't know, Sean and myself, we got invited by Sean Porter to go to Colorado Springs and interview a lot of the American amateur team for this project that Sean never got started up for amateur boxing. And Jamal Harvey was the guy we were the highest on from that crop that included Murray Jones. We had Jairo Gonzalez, Jamar Talley, Joshua Edwards. But we said Jamal Harvey was our guy. You know, Roscoe Hill was part of that group too. Raheem Gonzalez.
And we thought Jamal Harvey had the best professional upside of the 2024 team. This upcoming one, I think Marcus Luther and Joseph Abignonga Jr. have tremendous upside in the pros, and Salim Ellis Bey as well. It's got to watch the whole team up and down, but I think my two favorites on the team right now are Marcus Luther and Joseph Abignonga. And Marcus Luther had some wars with Kermel Moton that Brendan was at.
I was just going to say that, yeah, I had a chance to watch Marcus Luther fight Kermel Moton in the 2022 Eastern qualifiers out there in Ohio. And he wasn't as mature at that time as Kermel, but even being the younger guy was still more than holding his own.
Sean, thoughts on the Raiders for this year? This year, I don't know. They might go 5-12 or 6-11. If they're ahead of schedule, who knows? They can make a run at a wild card spot. You never know with the NFL. Things are there's more parity in the NFL than the NBA. There's more surprises in the NFL than the NBA. But the Raiders are gonna be good in 2 to 3 years.
Because South Florida's very own Fernando Mendoza Jr. He's here to save the Raiders from obscurity.
Yeah, I was watching Mendoza at the preseason training camp practice at Allegiant, and then I was at the game the other night, Thursday night against the Cardinals. He had a couple of throws to Jack Besh and Malik Benson that were impressive, like the velocity on the ball. He's 6'4". He can move. He's a tall kid who can move. He has the right temperament for studying football, and that's going to make his decision making and reading defenses really good in the future as he matures as a player. He still has his college body. He hasn't grown into his grown man kind of body yet. He still kind of looks like a college kid out there, but he's got a lot going for him between the ears, and he's tall. He can move and has a good arm and is an accurate thrower too. He's going to, whenever he takes the job over from Kirk Cousins this year, he's going to have some rookie fuck ups and mistakes, but they got their guy. And I think between Fernando, Brock Bowers, and the backup now, Mike Washington Jr. with Ashton Genty, I think they're going to be set at running back the next couple years with Genty and Mike Washington. They got the best tight end in Brock Bowers. And then I think they finally got their guy in Mendoza. The defense looks like it has holes in it for sure. But and I don't know about Max Crosby staying there. I think if they can win ahead of schedule, like if they're really young with their foundational pieces on offense, but if they mature quickly and start winning quickly, then Max Crosby still is a fit on the Raiders. But if this is a more 2 to 3 years down the line kind of thing before they start to really become competitive, then they probably got to trade Max Crosby again while he still has value. But anyways, this year, I would keep the expectations kind of low, like 5 or 6 wins. They have a tough schedule, and they play in a good division. But I think the future is actually finally bright for the Raiders. And I say that as someone who has covered some dog shit football for them the first couple years covering them.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I'm not too deep into the NFL these days, but Fernando Mendoza Jr. definitely has me interested in seeing what he does with the Raiders. And obviously, I'll be watching it all on Vegas Sports Today.
Yes.
Yes. Shameless plug.
Yes. So what's cool about boxing is it gets annoying too, the fans, the irrational fan bases of fighters being all over you and complaining so much and not letting you just speak your piece. And
but what about this? But what about him?
But in the NFL, it's so corporate. Like I may never even try to have something of a podcast covering the Raiders because I don't even want to risk saying anything and getting them angry with me.
When you cover like one of the big 4 sports, it's a whole different beast. You know, I know that from my early days in the NBA. And I can't imagine the NFL. The NFL is the king in America.
Supposed to protect the shield.
So corny.
So we got Troy Isley coming up. Troy Isley, he's ranked all the way up, I think, at what, number 4 or number 6 with the ring?
At middleweight?
Yeah, I know, right? Are you surprised to hear that?
I shouldn't be. The middleweight division is historically bad right now, but
okay. If you look at the rankings at middleweight right now, he's 5th.
Oh my Lord! I mean, Troy's a good fighter, but how is he 5?
I wouldn't put him ahead of Jesus Ramos.
Let's see.
Jesus Ramos beat Shane Mosley Jr. convincingly. That was a really good fight. We were at that fight in Texas, and Mosley just knocked out Boachuk.
I'm not sure if I would put him above Amari Jones, even though I think Amari Jones hasn't really fought anybody.
They both haven't, though.
Well, Troy did fight Vladimir Hernandez, who's probably like I think it's a good way. I mean, I don't know if he won that fight. It was really close, but
didn't Ramos beat Vladimir Hernandez too?
He might have, yeah. I know. Israel Madrimov beat Vladimir Hernandez in his pro debut. Took the best win of his career.
And dude, Yoenli Hernandez, he's really fun to watch. And he looks the part. He's huge for middleweight, but he beat a faded Terrell Goucher coming off losing. Like, I don't get how he's all the way up at number 2. But he's got the boogeyman status right now, Yoenli Hernandez.
I don't know.
So
Jahai Tucker is not high enough. I feel like Jahai has fought better competition than like the majority of the guys ranked in front of him and actually won some of those fights.
Someone said, who was that? Kyoto says Canelo's not a compact puncher, especially now. I actually think he is. It's just the way Terrence Crawford with a 74-inch reach shortened up his punches on the inside was incredible.
Yeah.
It's crazy how Crawford really did fight a great fight that night, man. He did some beautiful things in that fight. Shortening up his punches against a shorter, more compact fighter who's very good at mid-range, and then out throwing him in certain sequences, 3 or 4 to 1, counter punching Canelo in a distance where Canelo's usually the master at. And yeah, I give it to Terrence Crawford, man.
That night he turned the clock back to like when he fought Ray Beltran. Like those two performances look very similar. The way he was circling the ring and holding the center of the ring, and just fighting the fight, pretty much boxing the fight out of the southpaw stance the whole fight.
I actually think Ray Beltran made him more uncomfortable than Canelo did.
That's crazy to say, but it's true.
Here comes Troy Isley now, the Transformer.
Yep, flanked by
that's the guy Lamont Sullivan with him.
And you got Coach Ron Sims behind him. Shout out to Ron Sims, good coach, been in the USA amateur scene for a while, pro scene too.
You see the dude with the cowboy hat?
Yeah, who's that?
That's Lamont Sullivan, the dude who I just did the Robert Merriweather fight for with Sean in Indianapolis. He's the promoter for 4 Champs Promotion, Lehman Brewster's promotional company out of Indianapolis.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Lamont.
Troy Isley.
Fields fights have been bigger than any MVP woman show this year. Well, I mean, she tapped into her fan base.
Is that Lamont Peterson?
Huh?
That's Lamont Peterson right there with the beard.
Is it?
It looks like him.
Yeah, I think it is.
Chad, is that Peterson behind Troy Isley?
It looks like it. Yeah, and Claressa, you know, it took time. She had to fight in smaller venues against Christina Hammer. She had to go overseas to fight Savannah Marshall. And the truth is, this celebrity stuff, dating Papoose, getting into it with outside of the ring beefs with Baumgartner, the tabloid stuff, it's actually what's helped, you know, bring her to a whole nother level. And again, at first, I was starting to be like, oh, this isn't my cup of tea. And even though I'll always like her because she talks the talk and walks the walk and actually promotes her fights. But I was starting to be like, I don't know if I want to co-sign that kind of stuff or but then she's coming out to Boozy and me and Brendan are being,
set this bitch out. Set this bitch out.
It's like, come on, I like some of that shit too. Whatever. Actually, you know, it was the part that so she was leaving her fight and she's like, oh my God, we had little girls saying, whoop that trick. It was so amazing. And I was like, oh, is this the truth? Does the truth teller in me have to speak out on how that's not cute? Is it cute to have little girls saying whoop that trick? But you know what? We got a president in the Epstein files. We're $40 trillion in debt. God damn it, we got bigger problems than Claressa having little girls saying whoop that trick.
We have the Zuffa Boxing trying to change U.S. law.
Yeah, we on behalf of the Saudi government while they're in court for. Let's not get too deep into it, but you get the point. We got bigger fucking.
Let's have a little perspective here.
That's all. If those things don't bother you, but Claressa Shields having little girls saying "whoop that trick" bother you, then maybe you got to get off her lady dick a little bit.
Bitch out.
Wait, here it was.
We gonna set this bitch out.
Here comes the best part right here. The Franchon Cruz rematch.
Yep. So that's it. Yeah, that was for the Franchon Cruz DAZN rematch.
Oh, you got a super chat, Sean. Matt asks,
"What's up, Tego?
Tego, what's good?" Matt wants to know if
Antoine said that shit ain't cool. I agree, but you know, I don't want to perpetrate and you know, I pick bigger battles to fight. Yes, truthfully, my reaction when she was bragging about little girls saying whoop that shit, like, do I gotta call this out with Raheem the next day? Me and Raheem actually recorded a whole video about it. And I'll say it to the faithful tuning into this chat now. Raheem was like, it kind of reminded me of Freaknik. And we started laughing, and we didn't drop it, man, because there's bigger problems going on, and we like Claressa and don't want people to take it the wrong way. But it seems like we got a pretty reasonable, you know, intelligent crowd in the chat, so they understand what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
So Matt Borgeson gives us the super chat. Says Shiraz versus Janibek. Who do you guys got?
I don't know. Do you want the guy that got a majority decision against Simon from Germany, or do you want to pick the guy that got popped top for steroids? Getting a title shot. I don't know. I mean, Janibek's exchanges. We know Hamza can't really deal with guys that can move and have craft with their feet.
If Janibek translates to 68 as well as he did 60, I would maybe give an edge to Janibek.
I would favor Janibek.
Janibek's good. And Shiraz is good too, but Janibek's craftier. All right, here, let's go round one.
Round by round, let's lock in. We got
Troy Isley, built like a brick shithouse. Not a puncher, though. Only 6 knockouts and 16 wins. Always leaves something to be desired. He trains really hard. He's sparred with Devin Haney and Terrence Crawford. He's trained with Bomac. He was an Olympian.
Very well.
Yeah, good guy. Got grittiness to him, but never can make that performance that really makes people believers. But he's in the right division.
Correct.
So.
Joseph Hicks has like this was orange and teal
Thick
trunks.
astronaut and his trunks.
Yeah, like with the chinchilla on the side. What are you doing, champ? You know, if you have chinchilla or tassels, you gotta get a knockout. That's the policy. You got all.
You gotta do some flashy, flamboyant.
You gotta touch your heel and like throw an uppercut or overhand like Dio or something.
You gotta be on some Floyd Mayweather, Jaron Ennis. You can't be like Montana Love and get knocked out by Liam Paro in San Francisco.
Yeah, Montana Love.
You get DQ'd, or you got DQ'd in San Francisco?
DQ, yeah. Did he throw him out the ring?
Yeah, something like that. No, Steve Spark. Was it? No.
It was Stevie Spark.
Yeah.
He was rugged and would come forward, and he had to throw him out the ring. Otherwise, it was going to be over for him.
Fight starting off slow in the center of the ring. Troy Isley, the little bit more the aggressor, tries a double jab, straight right hand to the body. Hicks countering with a jab, not really committing to that counter shot, but just touching Isley, who reached out from a little too far away there. Hicks planting on his back foot, taking little steps back here and there, steps to the side, is trying to set up counter punching and making Isley have to reach with shots. Now he touches with his jab at long range. Wider base from Hicks. Again, kind of planting on that back foot.
If Troy doesn't decide to be the aggressor in this fight, this is going to be a stinker because Hicks is not committing to anything. Very wide base, like as you said, Sean. He's trying to counter. He's trying to counter and not lead the exchanges, which is a big problem with a lot of fighters these days. A lot of fighters these days don't feel comfortable leading the exchange. They're always looking to counter. They need the opponent to initiate the offense to do anything themselves.
Well, that's what makes somebody like Jaron Ennis so special is he has a dominant jab, as did Crawford, to initiate and then have the speed and the punch selection and the eyes and the time
ringside
and the belief. Yeah, there's Crawford and Mayweather sitting ringside next to each other. And guys like Floyd and Crawford and Boots had the kind of the dominant jab to initiate and then open you up and then punctuate, be first and last, which is what the great old school trainers would always tell their fighters to do. Be first and last, be first and last. That typically means initiate with the jab, create offense with the jab. You're going to get something coming back your way if you keep landing and being effective with that jab, and then you punctuate the exchange thereafter. And that's something guys like Jaron Ennis are doing really well right now. So is Bam Rodriguez. So is Inoue. So is Benavidez. So is Devin Haney when he's on point and feeling comfortable. But I think the guys I mentioned before Haney do it at a more consistent level than he's doing right now, even though Haney's really good. But
yeah, so shout out to fighters in boxing that feel comfortable leading the exchanges and don't have to just sit there and wait to counter all the time.
Yep. Tony Harrison beats both of these guys. Come on, bro. These guys can't hang with. Yeah, Tony Harrison, no. All right. That was a really slow round one. Not a lot to choose from there. Definition of a feeling out round. Both fighters starting with their jab. Good straight right hand by Troy Isley. They exchanged right hands there, but Isley got underneath the right hand, got his head off the line a little bit, and landed that right hand BT. Now starting with a jab to the body, 30 seconds into it.
Hicks making a more concerted effort here in the first 30 seconds to try to initiate his offense. He's closed his stance up a little bit. It's not quite as wide as it was in the first round.
Holding his ground a little bit.
Yep.
Neither fighter really effective with their jab just yet. Now Hicks starts taking those little inches backwards, little steps back. Straight right hand by Troy Isley and another straight right hand. It's usually his best punch, and he did a good job timing the jab of Hicks. Oh, but a good straight right hand by Hicks, and Isley's a little buzzed.
Buckled.
Yep.
And Troy immediately starts to clinch. Good, nice timing there by Hicks with the right hand.
That's what he was waiting on and sitting on.
Mm-hmm. He closed his stance up.
Troy started to feel confident. He hit him with two right hands, started to get a little bit more aggressive, and he walked into a right hand right there by Hicks, who got a reaction out of his legs. So now Hicks Has to have Troy Isley's respect a little bit, but now the fight's picking up. A 1-2 by Troy Isley, not letting that right hand get him gun shy. Troy looks like he wants to pick the pace up a little bit and take the momentum back. A little bit short with a 1-2. Hicks with some upper body movement, but not countering out of that look. Dropped both hands. Left hook counter misses for Hicks, but Hicks is, looking to counter punch.
Fight settling down now a little bit here. Both guys trying to collect themselves. Good jab by Troy Isley as he
off the little straight right hand to the body to set it up. Good jab by Hicks on the step back there. Isley again trying to shoot that straight right hand over the jab, makes Troy Hicks miss with his own right hand. Isley still starting off those 1-2s from a little too far out at times.
Yeah, you got to set it up.
Well, I think he's a little weary of the counter over the top of his jab, so he's throwing the 2 right after it to punch with Hicks, but sometimes he's doing it too far out.
Yeah, and if you do that, you risk the possibility of lunging in, getting caught yourself, getting hurt, getting buzzed. Gotta take about a half a step in.
Yeah, but maybe he's not trusting that jab to cut the distance, because right there again, Hicks 15 seconds left in the round trying to pull with a right hand over the top of that jab. So Isley's going to have to find other ways to get closer. And he doesn't have a particularly explosive or quick first step in doing that. And that'll do it for round 2. Isley was still the busier fighter, but I got to give the round to Hicks just based off that right hand that buckled Troy for sure. So 1 round apiece.
He's having a hard time closing the distance the way he wants to, because even there, Sean, towards the end of that round, you saw Troy Isley try to level change, and Hicks just shot a jab real quickly, and it didn't land, but it kept him at bay from allowing to close the distance even more and land the right hand.
Yeah, and again, usually, jabbing, double jabbing, working your levels with your jab, that's going to help you cut the gap a little bit, but that right hand got his attention and makes him a little more weary of it. And Troy right there tried to pull straight out after an exchange, and Hicks had the length to tag him with that right hand as he tried to pull out of the exchange. And right there, someone like Sean Porter would tell him, don't pull out. Okay, you threw the 1-2 to get into distance. Don't pull out and eat a right hand. Stay there. You threw the 1-2. Guys like Mike Tyson, Sean Porter, short arm guys, they throw those punches just to close the gap, and then they stay there and they swim underneath, and they get to their second and third layer of their punches and their combinations. That's how they get their offense off as a shorter fighter, shorter arm fighter.
Either angle off or at worst smother. Don't pull out.
Don't pull out.
Yeah, don't give them a big target to hit you with the right hand or anything like that.
So it wasn't even so much like a pull right hand counter over the top of Troy's jab. It was Troy getting caught pulling straight out instead of, like we said, working to get to that distance off your punches and then staying there and creating your next layer, your next sequence of punches now that you're a little closer.
Yeah.
Now Isley lands his jab 25 seconds into it, but he ate a jab early in this round. They exchanged in the center of the ring, and now it's Hicks who's buckled in that exchange. They opened up in the center of the ring. Hicks pointing to the back of his head that he got hurt.
Nah. He didn't get hit off. What's this guy talking about?
Hicks is, if he wants to win this fight, he's going to have to change his demeanor and his mindset in this fight a little bit.
Right.
But Troy is the guy, just judging from the body language and their temperament in the ring. He's the guy. And Troy could be conservative too, but he's going to be the guy that risks it and steps it up a little bit more if it comes down to a scratch and sniff kind of fight. And Hicks is just looking to find that pot shot here and there. And he'll have to step it up a little bit, use his jab a little bit more and create sometimes, because it's there. He's got a little bit of an advantage at this distance they're fighting at.
I know it's only round 3, but Hicks has to make a decision, Sean. Does he want to compete and get a pat on the back for competing with Troy, or does he actually want to win and progress his career?
Right.
Which one is it? Make a decision.
Pull off this upset and get into the mix in the middleweight division. Right.
A wide open middleweight division.
That's better by Troy Isley there. Threw a right hand, got underneath a counter punch from Hicks, and then threw a 2 or 3 punch combination. That's the effort of Isley They tackle to the ground now. Isley gets him in a headlock, drops him to the ground a little bit, staying on top of him, leans on him, pushes off of him. Roughhouse tactics by Troy, but that's Troy,
taking some air out of his legs, possibly.
Yep. And just being rough, taking advantage where he can in a fight where he hasn't been able to get his accuracy going too much against Hicks, who's a little taller, got a little bit more ranginess to him. But it's effort, and Isley just having that little bit more effort than Hicks in the third round. Nothing special, nothing super effective. Isley working in the clinch. Hicks isn't. Hicks is looking at the referee at a few spots in this round and is just giving this round away.
Hicks has to calm down. He has the body language of a fighter who, at the moment seems to be getting too big for him. You can't let the fight pass you by, because it will pass you by and you'll be like, damn, the fight's over already.
Yeah, and he's got a right hand that's been a threat to Troy Isley in this fight. Not letting it go enough. Again, not a good fight so far by any means. I got it 29-28 Troy Isley.
That's about it's about right. I would like to see Joseph Hicks throw a double jab at some point. Like really, really push Troy Isley back, with a nice authoritative jab and a right hand behind it. He doesn't seem to have that sort of temperament or demeanor. He wants to initiate his offense off whatever Troy does, but you're the B side. You're the B side. Salida Promotions just signed Troy Isley, right? And I know Salida has a good relationship with the IBF, and they're gonna be looking to push Troy Isley to fight that route. So make a statement, man. Do you want to compete or do you want to win? Right now, it looks like he's
wide-eyed in there.
He's probably looking ringside too. He's seeing Floyd and Crawford and all these Keyshawn and Shakur. That stuff.
Keyshawn made it there too.
Keyshawn sitting right next to Shakur.
They're gonna ask him about Devin. He's not gonna answer shit tonight.
He's gonna run. He's gonna sprint out as soon as this is done.
Yeah, they're gonna beeline out the arena, which he would probably do even if he didn't have a fight. If he did have a fight with Devin Sign, but right now the referee is warning Hicks. Referee sees the writing on the wall, and he's already warning Hicks for holding coming out of the corner for the fourth.
Mm-hmm. The referee is encouraging Hicks to not con his way through this fight, actually fight. And Hicks has the tools. He can do it if he actually can compose himself.
Yeah.
Because Troy is not exactly lighting the world on fire either.
No. This is so far a typical Troy Isley fight. He's going to find a way to win, but he's not going to convince anybody, he's the guy. Now Troy Isley goes down. It's a slip, but yeah, that was a slip. But Hicks did get in a left hook to the body in that exchange and threw some heat.
You got to press him. Go right back to him.
Let's see if Hicks makes a decision here to step it up this round. Jab to the body by Hicks.
Nice stab jab.
He's starting the round with a little bit more pep in his step. Isley shifting his upper body side to side. And at this distance, if Hicks would employ his jab a little bit more, he could be the dictator in there. Isley is at a far distance between two of them where he can't get any offense done. And he's even a little bit weary after that last exchange. But if Hicks continues to just backstep, take his little half steps back and doesn't impose anything there, then Isley's just going to slowly, and there's a right hand over the top of Hicks's jab by Isley. That was a good counter right hand over the top by Isley.
Hicks is dropping that right hand when Isley feints him. If you're the corner of Troy, you got to tell him to feint. Feint him a little bit more. Get the right hand to drop and then.
Yeah, and that right hand over the top of Hicks's jab is now making Hicks second guess his distance again.
This is where a fighter really has to trust his training and his preparation. Could do all the right things in the gym, but when the lights come on, you don't trust what you did in the gym.
Isley moving his upper body more. Short with a 1-2, they get in the clinch, and Isley outworking him in the clinch. Hicks being a little bit more active in the clinch than previous clinches, but still Isley being the boss with the physicality in there.
He's laboring in that clinch.
Yeah.
So they're laboring
with his free right hand to the body. They separate now. 50 seconds left in the fourth.
Isley pushes him off.
Isley keeping those hands up. Touches with a jab, drops the lead hand, does a nice up jab, good head movement, and pivot out to his left by Troy Isley there to his strong side. Isley dropping the lead hand down. Good head movement. Getting a little bit looser there. Tries to counter with a left hook right hand and another right hand left hook in between punches by Troy Isley off the mark, but still knocks Hicks off balance, making Hicks uncomfortable in the exchanges.
Hicks looks like he's losing confidence. He
gets countered by the left hook there. And Isley doing a better job of punching in combination. Hicks is just looking for one punch at a time, almost letting that pot shot out like nothing's going to come back. And Isley is throwing, 3 or 4 at a time. So that's another Troy Isley round.
And a lot of those right hands that he's trying to shoot, they're half-hearted right hands. There's not really conviction behind those right hands.
A lot of them aren't set up. They're reactive right hands off of what Isley's doing. He's hardly using his jab as Hicks. So they're showing Kaye Scott in the dressing room. When's the Globe fighting? My wife is in the chat.
Shout out to Samantha.
Who's up next?
The best fighter in the post-Floyd Mayweather era is fighting next. If you didn't know, Claressa Shields. 19-time world champion, 21 on the way. Unless
Kaye Scott, the 42-year-old unified middleweight champion, says otherwise.
An upset surely big enough to eclipse the likes of Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. Yeah.
An upset that'll rock the foundation to the high heavens of the sport.
The stars and the quasars are aligning for the Aussie. Anyway, round 5 of Isley, Joseph Hicks.
Yeah, Troy Isley coming forward to start the 5th. Straight line punches from Troy Isley. There's a jab from Jerome Hicks, but Joseph Hicks, excuse me.
You call him Jerome?
I did. Why does Sean sound like Mauro Ranallo? Ah, that's exactly what we were going for.
Yeah.
That was the impersonation.
Floyd Mayweather looks beside himself ringside. He's like, look at these guys.
Floyd's like, put Ray J and Orlando Brown back in there.
Like, he's saying it's easy work. It's cakewalk.
I wonder if Keyshawn smoked weed
before going to the arena.
Yeah.
Well, why not? He's had a rough time recently. Why not? Who are we to judge?
Shit, I love smoking weed. I just haven't done it in 9 months.
I've never smoked weed.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
Just kidding. More clinching in the middle of the 5th. Isley winning the fight right now. Just more effort.
Do the fight
go more
insights to this fight? Because man, it's
not a lot happening.
Not a lot happening.
There's a left hook by Troy Isley, hooking off the jab. In a sequence there, both fighters letting their hands go for just a second there. Isley short with the left hook right hand. Hicks ties him up.
Now they had Troy Isley in the ring rankings ranked above Amari Jones. A lot of the things that he's doing in this fight, if he were to fight on Amari Jones, are going to get him lit up bad.
Yes. No, I think Amari beats Troy for sure.
He's shooting that right hand from way out there.
Yoenli Hernandez would beat him. I think Jesus Ramos beats him.
I think Jahai Tucker will beat him, to be honest.
Yeah. That's not a diss to Troy. I like Troy. Like, he's a solid fighter.
I never met Troy. He seems like a nice guy. At some point you gotta show him. You gotta step up your performances.
I'm cool with Troy Isley, but I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah, not for sure. Good jab there by Troy.
Yeah, little step back jab made Hicks reach. He initiated with his jab, made Hicks throw out his lazy jab, and then countered him with his own jab. Referee warning Troy Isley now for being too physical in these clinches. And is he going to take a point away? He takes a point away from Troy. Wow. Oh, kidney punch.
If Joseph Hicks can win some rounds here, it could get interesting.
Well, now it's a 9-9 round. So I have it 4 rounds to 1. Troy only up 2 points instead of 3.
If Joseph Hicks could win, like, I don't know, three of the last 5 rounds, you don't know what these judges are scoring.
I got 48-46 for Troy Isley.
I mean, I think Troy's winning.
And this fight sucks.
Yeah, there you go.
The fight sucks, chat. You know how they say, you know who's the real winners? The fans. You know who's the real losers?
Us?
In this fight? The fans.
Oh.
I feel like this is always happening on undercards now, man.
You listen, man. You get these opportunities as a fighter to showcase yourself. This is a big crowd there.
Yeah.
So good stage tonight. Like if you're Troy
Isley, boxing royalty in the place.
Like you want to make a statement, you want to really like stick your flag in the ground and say, "Hey, I'm here in the middleweight division. This is your time to perform." And neither one of these guys is really performing all that great.
What about Troy Isley versus Tim Tszyu? I'm gonna say Tim Tszyu.
I'm
gonna say Tim Tszyu. Yep.
I think they. I mean, not to be disrespectful, like who could Troy Isley beat in the top 10 at middleweight right now? You got Carlos Adames, Yoelis Hernandez, Aaron McKenna, Laura, Amari Jones, Chris Eubank, Jesus Ramos, Jahai Tucker, Etinosa Oliha.
I think he could maybe beat Oliha and Chris Eubank.
Yeah.
He could beat Chris Eubank. At middleweight, where Chris Eubank is dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could beat Eubank.
But see, like
I'm Chris Eubank Jr. though. Oof.
I don't know.
IBO middleweight champion Chris Eubank. Oof.
Marcellus in the chat said that Troy Isley is fighting a guy that he grew up with. What does that mean?
What about all the other guys he's fought?
I'm pretty sure he didn't grow up in the barrios of Mexico with Vladimir Hernandez. Like,
no, yeah, they're fighting. It's all fight. The zone has it even. Mannix has the fight even. I got it 1 round different. I got it 48-46 Isley.
I'm saying, bro, like if Hicks can
good counter 1-2 by Troy Isley right there. Took a little step back and countered with a 1-2 as Hicks gave up his range there, reached with a shot. Now Isley going with a jab to the body.
I think Terrence Crawford and Mayweather are taking a picture of Brandy ringside or someone.
Nice jab to the body by Troy Isley. Is that Missy Elliott?
Or it's someone. It's some celebrity.
Isley stabbing to the body well with his jab in the middle.
I think he's got a nice stab jab. I feel like that's the shot.
He's got a good right hand.
Like that stab jab is gonna get him in range a lot easier than him shooting that right hand from way out there and possibly lunging himself into a big counter shot.
Good hook off the jab again by Isley. Initiating with the jab, drawing something out by Hicks, and then throwing a hook off of it. Gets to the midsection a little bit. Hicks ties him up. Isley's got to be careful not to get too frustrated in those clinches. But I think he's winning this round. I got him winning every round so far, except for the round he got buckled in the second round. And Hicks's eyes are wide open, man. He does not look comfortable and confident. Isley punching in combination, cleaning up with the left hook in that.
Ooh, good counter by Hicks.
Yeah. And Troy was a little wide with the left foot hook. Isley let that hook go again, landed at that time on the top of Hicks's head. 1-2 to Hicks's body. Hicks stepping over to the left, taking little steps back. Isley pulling back his upper body to get away from the right hand counter up top after stabbing the body with the jab. 20 seconds left. I think it's another Isley round. Double jab by Isley. Lands that second jab.
Does some good things. Like I like Troy. I like some of the things Troy does in spots. He just It's crazy to say this because he's an Olympian, but I think he needs to figure out his punching range a bit more, or at least punch with a bit more conviction.
Yeah, sometimes he lets go of right hands that the eye test, they look like they got more thump on them than a guy with 6 knockouts and 16 fights. There was one fight I covered of him. He dropped the guy with a right hand early, and it looked like he was going to get him out of there, but it went the distance. And like he's shown some flashes of having some pop in his right hand, but
Minky has a great comment. He says, Troy is too short and stocky to be a classic range boxer. He should be an inside brawler, more like.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to find a way to be busier and more aggressive. But I think he that's a good point. He likes to kind of be a clean boxer sometimes.
That's all. Like, I hate to say it, bro, but a lot of these fighters that come from the USA boxing amateur pipeline, they never break out of that, and they have this style where they're fighting in the JO Nationals. Like, at some point, you in the grown man professional game, you gotta rid yourself of that, and you gotta punch through the target. I know we're the ones outside the ring. It's easy for us to say, but if he wants to be a champion, if he wants to be someone that can be a real factor at middleweight, these things gotta improve.
I agree. But then again, he might just be what he is. Like, you see some upper body movement here and there. You see he's pretty sound, but he's not a superb kind of athlete. He's not a big puncher. He's not that fast. He's got solid, decent speed, but he's not particularly fast. Doesn't have a great first step. His arms are short for the division. He might just be a solid professional fighter, who's the 9th or 10th best middleweight in the world.
Yeah.
That's just what he is. But he does show some flashes sometimes. And sometimes, again, his power, when he lets that right hand rip and the left hook behind it, it looks like he has a little bit more pop than he's able to consistently display. But
that's what I'm saying.
He is a little tight, too. Like, he could.
Saying that Troy Isley is this uber special talent or anything like that, but I think his skill level and what and the tools he has are a bit higher than he's showing. He's not applying his tools right, and I get frustrated watching fighters who do have the tools to be better than they are, and they're not applying it. You know what I mean? But
that's pick it up more.
That's fighter development, though. We'll see.
He could pick it up more. He could. Double that jab up, slip the shots, get inside, punch a little closer to him.
He need to go watch some Marlon Stone, get in that high guard and get to work. That's what he need to go do.
Yeah, you're right. Pick up the high guard, walk a motherfucker down.
Like he's trying to box in this classic boxer stance. And against a guy who's mobile and who knows how to box a different range, you're gonna always fall a bit short. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. He's not making the most of his build, his attributes.
I don't know, man.
This round was very slow. There wasn't really a lot to pick from, but I just give a little bit more credit to Isley, who's pressing forward, who's pressing the fight, who's initiating. Right there, he's getting Hicks on the ropes. He misses each shot.
Hicks, throwing get off me punches. He's hoping
to make it the distance, and if an opportunity presents itself to land a shot like he did in the second round, sure, that's great. He's staying alert enough and switched on enough that if an opportunity like that presents itself, he'll take it. But he's not going to try and create anything and actually really try to consistently win the fight.
Terrence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather have both checked out ringside. They're not paying no attention to this fight.
Yeah, the fight sucks. We broke down the fight 15, 20 minutes ago in round 2 or 3. We're like, well, if this continues, Isley will win because he'll be the fighter more willing to try, and Hicks won't. And if this continues, you said in the first round, you said if the fight continues at this distance and like this is going to be a big snooze fest.
I saw
I followed up by saying Isley will win it because he'll actually try a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's your fight. I mean, we could keep
fight.
Guys, give us something else to talk about at this point. We'll let you know when Isley gets his hand raised by a boring decision.
Well,
will you be in San Diego for Pitbull or Avis Brown? I might, but I got to cover the Raiders in LA the 20th when they play the Chargers. So maybe I can make a drive out. Is that Usher?
Huh?
Yeah, Usher's there. You make me want to be the one I'm with, start a new relationship with you. This is what you do.
It's been 11 days, 18 hours. I'm going to keep burning.
I'm going to be burning till you'll be burned.
Do you got a favorite Usher song?
I should stay in this relationship
When I'm hurt, baby.
I ain't happy, baby. Plus, there's so many other things I gotta deal with. I think that you should let it burn. That would be the one.
That's the one right there. So we're around 8, for those of you wondering, between this highly anticipated middleweight affair between Troy Isley and Joseph Hicks. We are in round 8, and you can get
Hearns.
There's not much happening. A lot of posturing.
My wife said, not that song, Sean. I knew she'd feel that way, but those are all his songs, babe. I don't think he has a single song where the relationship is going well.
Sounds like he gets sucked at being a boyfriend. Like he's like
shitty. He's kind of a shitty person. Like
objectively speaking, you sound like a piece of shit. Like based on your own music. Like get it together, Usher.
Every time I was in LA, I was with my ex-girlfriend. Oh, was the thing about you getting hurt? Oh, I was out doing my dirt.
And then he has
not giving a damn who sees me so wrong, so long.
And then he has these songs where he's guilty and he's doing all these acts of service to make up for him being a piece of shit. He's like, flowers, cars, and candy. You got it.
You opened up the door and didn't want to come in. I said, baby, please hear me. She's like, no, not you or your 4-pack.
Some of the chat doesn't know what we're singing. We're singing the musical stylings of Usher.
We're millennials, bro.
Yes.
And you could see I really Patron Serrato said, Sean, you're hurting my ear. Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry. Gotta do something else besides watch Troy Isley.
They wanted us to do confessions. Due to my confessions.
Thought I said all I could say was chick on the side. Said she got one on the way. Is my confessions. Man, I'm growing. I don't know what
to do. I guess I gotta keep part 2 of my confessions. If I'm gonna tell it, then I'm gonna tell it all. Damn it right when I got that phone call.
I'm so dumb. I don't know what to do. Yep.
Hey, Sean, you done woke some of the chat's kids up, man.
I'm sorry. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, brick by brick. I'm sorry. I know how much that sucks. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
They'll go right back to bed.
But this is like with all, this is the middleweight division. This is the middleweight division has us doing these days, guys. We're singing Usher.
Yep.
In the co-main event.
Yep.
On Saturday, 2026.
You know what's a good Usher memory?
What's that?
Me and Sammy are out in LA watching Kobe in the Western Conference Finals against the Suns. 2010. We're pretty fresh out of high school still, and Oh My God is a hit right when we're there, and we hear it for the first time in LA. And most music in the last 20 years is terrible, but that was a good little song. And yeah, I remember us jamming out to that in traffic in LA, going to the Laker games, staying in Hollywood. Good times.
This one's something special. This one hits like dynamite.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, the beat felt kind of 90s.
Oh, nice job there by
right, yeah, let's get back to the fight now. Round 9. We took a round off. Can't blame us. And let's see if,
Can we have a moment of magic from one of these guys?
It might happen.
Who wants to announce himself at 160 tonight?
Isley out jabbing Hicks right there, doubling it up as Hicks just threw that one jab. Now Hicks jabs to the body, steps over to his left. Isley, again, shifting his upper body weight, but still starting out from too far away. And Hicks, you got a fighter at Hicks who has the fight at the distance he wants it to be at, but
he's not committed.
Yeah, isn't executing enough. And to Isley's credit, Isley has the better upper body movement. Isley has better balance for sure.
He just has better presence in the ring.
Yeah, and better balance.
Balance, of course.
And better defense. even if he's doing it at a distance that's too far away all night, you know,
some of the shots he missed, like even with the counter right where he is throwing it at a range, you know, he's at least giving Hicks something to think about when Hicks decides to initiate his offense.
Right. And Hicks doesn't show a lot of defense. Hicks has landed 2 good jabs in the halfway through the ninth, though, keeping Isley falling short and keeping him on the end of his jab. So a little bit of success there from Hicks. Isley moving his head around, but staying too far out still. Good little hook to the body by Hicks. There's a 1-2 by Isley. He eats a jab as Hicks pulls his weight out, lands a jab on the back foot there. Knocked a little bit of the sweat off of Isley. Isley this time getting in close, but getting tied up, letting go of a 3-punch combination. That left hook being blocked by Hicks up top after he shoots the 1-2 to get it. They trade jabs. Isley still the fighter on the front foot. Hicks just flicking out the occasional jab, but Isley not doing much this round either, not getting a whole lot done himself. Hicks just doing a good job making him look bad and frustrating him, but
he's just spoiling right now. He's spoiling.
Yeah, he's spoiling.
Spoiling the fight.
There's a right hand that gets in from Isley off the 1-2. Hicks steps over to the left. Hicks eats a jab, knocks him back a little bit.
I'll tell you this, man.
Isley, power jab. Yep.
If Troy Isley would just commit to a left hook to the head, he could hurt Hicks. Hicks keeps dropping his right hand over and over again.
Well, he has a few times let it go in a sequence in a combination off the 1-2.
But I'm saying, like, really, like, throw an authoritative jab, back him up to the ropes, and throw a nice left hook to the head.
Yeah, no work by Isley whenever Hicks's back is touching the ropes. And yeah, Hicks is sliding off, but it's not like he's doing it with super fast feet or beautiful angles. It's just Isley is allowing the fight to be at that range all night long. And again, we got 1 round left. I think he's done enough to win, but and Isley, and I've seen this look on Isley's face in so many fights. He's back in the corner. You could tell he's not really happy with his performance. And this has been the story of his career in a lot of fights. You know, he knows that there's something lacking in these fights consistently, and he wants to pull more out of himself. He's just not doing it.
Correct. Yeah. Shout out to Cameron. He says Isley's big and strong, but he's not sitting on those shots. He's jumping too much. Horrible co-main event. Yeah, Dimitri Salita, man. What's going on?
Let's remember Usher played Sugar Ray in a Duran biopic. Yeah, these shitty Hollywood biopics don't move me. For the last good one I saw was Behind the Candelabra about Liberace. Even my wife said our singing was terrible.
I mean, is it any more terrible than the co-main event?
Yeah, it's befitting. Our singing talent is befitting of the co-main event. Oh boy.
You had a super chat up there from Chicky and Boxing.
Oh shit, my bad. Chiquian, thank you, brother. Says Sean and BT. This is awesome. Thank you, Chiquian. I saw him yesterday at Namiya Boxing.
Oh, shout out to him. Oh, you went to Namiya Boxing?
Yeah, Leo had his first day.
Awesome.
So, all right. So Chris Mannix has it 87-83. Isley, I have it 1 point wider at 96-92, or no, I think whatever, dude. Troy Isley's winning. It's 2 minutes left in this fight. Win records reminds me of Floyd Mayweather's Filthy Rich records.
Yes, I'm actually shocked that Dimitri Salita put Troy Isley in the co-main event spot.
Well, no, remember it's supposed to be Tito Mercado.
I know, but like you had Atif Overton on this card, who I know, you know,
right?
You know, but Atif Overton, I think he would have fit the crowd that's there. Like,
yeah, his
look, how he fights.
Troy Isley's a straight up and down kind of honest fighter, honest guy. You know, this crowd wants some pizzazz.
You got Floyd and Crawford, you know, showing each other their phone ringside. Like,
Atif Overton at least would get some attention with his ring wear.
His speed. He can punch a little bit. I mean, he didn't get a knockout. He went the full distance with a faded Romero Angulo, but
no, you're right though. How'd he look?
I didn't get a chance to watch the fight because it was on the Zeus part of the
Zeus app. Yeah, no, we weren't paying $6.
All the fights that I wanted to see, like that fight, his fight, and then Hakeem Lopez, Devell Smith. Huh?
That's smart by Zeus.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, if you want to see that Ray J, Orlando Brown bullshit, you gotta cough up the $6 here. We'll give the zone Claressa Shields, like, of course, but we know you
degenerates,
you motherfucking people want to see this bullshit too. And I would have watched it if it was on the zone, but I wasn't about to spend $6 for that shit.
Probably gonna be one of the best fights of the night.
10 seconds left. And really, yeah, this was a stinker.
Thank God.
But it wasn't. It's an exchange at the bell,
Like it wasn't like, okay, we know
it wasn't bad enough to be.
It wasn't on like the Chris Burr, DeVar Williamson gold standard for bad fights.
Edwin De Los Santos, Shakur Stevenson,
Robert Easter, Francis Bartholomew. Those are fights that are so bad that they're good.
Good. This was really bad.
Really bad, just flat out stinker. So, yeah, Troy Isley should be getting another win, and another stinker.
Like, and people would say, okay, well, what is it that makes Troy Isley, Joseph Hicks not on the level of so bad it's good like those other fights we mentioned? Well, I believe those fights we all mentioned were world title fights.
Yep,
high level horribleness. And against Chris Burr, DeVar Williamson, it's technically a heavyweight championship fight, and they're slapping each other's hands down nonstop.
Every time, every 3 seconds, Chris Burr.
Yep.
And then not firing off of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many times will he slap the lead hand of DeVar Williamson down and not counter?
So there's an artistry there to how bad it is.
I'm saying, imagine if he countered.
Shakur and De Los Santos is like, wow, one of the best pound for pound fighters is in this horrible a fight. The kind of like jackrabbit step outs of range by Shakur in that fight were kind of funny. De Los Santos would taunt sometimes, and they had a lot of feinting. This fight was terrible with almost no feints. So, again, there's an artistry to how bad it is. Francis Bartholomew, Robert Easter, same thing too. Tons of feints, which adds a little bit of artistry to how bad it is. This fight was just bad and plain and dull. I felt like we had to explain the levels.
We have to. We have to. There's so many fights in boxing that I could point out that are just not that good. Oh, Lord. The important.
Let's see who won. I'm not going to do a watch party for Tio and Rolly. I'll be covering that fight.
Apparently, I will be too.
96, 93.
Does Joseph Hicks think he actually won? What you
decision? Troy Isley.
Give it to Joseph Hicks.
Troy Isley wins. Yeah. All right. There you go. There you go. It's exactly how we saw it.
Thank God it's over.
Through all the horrible singing and everything, we actually called the fight pretty well, Chad. We did.
We will have to wait. Yeah, we basically called it in the first 2 rounds what it was going to be.
We did.
You got Troy Isley, who's not that aggressive of a fighter to begin with, but he's the more aggressive of the two. And Hicks, base is wide as hell, just sitting there waiting to initiate the whole fight. Had the tools to make it a fight, refused to make it a fight, was okay to compete, not didn't have the gumption to actually try and really win with all his might. So, hey. But anyway, now that it's over. The quote! Time to stand on business. Yo.
We're going to set this bitch out.
Huh?
Set this bitch out.
Set this bitch out. Set this bitch out. Listen, if you don't think Claressa Shields is the best fighter in the post Floyd Mayweather era, stay over there on that side. Don't come over here with that
I mean, I'll stay over there on that side.
19-time world champion, guys.
Carrots.
I am fanboy. I'm joking.
What's up to BF Brown? What's up, brother? Thank you for the shout out. Would we like to see Camarón versus Navarrete or Rayo Valenzuela? Sometimes I feel like obnoxiously trilling my R's. And
after the last fight, I'm happy to see anything. Happy to see anything.
When I was interviewing Yoenli Hernandez the other day, I told Samantha, what if I was just being obnoxious and I was like, here with Yoenli Hernandez, would you want to fight Arislandi Lara, Carlos Adames, Jesus Ramos? And him just looking at me like, why the fuck are you talking like that?
Meriam Nurslatunov.
Nursultanov. Well, let's see. How many punches were thrown all together? I mean, Joseph Hicks threw 250 punches in a 10-round fight.
Total punches thrown? Wait.
He threw 250 punches in a 10-round fight. So he basically had 3 rounds for William Zepeda. Now, on to the question, though. Zepeda against Navarrete or Valenzuela. I would like Zepeda versus Navarrete if Navarrete were to move up. But I want to see Navarrete fight Oshaki Foster. And that's actually a tough fight to pick. I know you might be tempted to just go with Oshaki Foster because Navarrete, he got beat by Denis Berancek. He had a draw against Robson Conceição, but
he's Berancek is southpaw. Southpaw, different rhythm, cranian style.
I just think Navarrete didn't show up for that fight in peak form anyways.
I mean, ever since he got this nutritionist, he seems to make it 130 a bit more stronger and more healthy. And we've seen Foster before had these pockets of the fight where he's not busy and sometimes the rounds do get away from him. So that's a great fight, man. I don't know how you feel, Sean, about this, but for me, the winner of that fight for me is my fighter of the year. Or at least a strong candidate. I mean,
certainly if it's Navarrete, because he will have beaten. He will have won 2 unification fights back to back. Yeah, you're right. And Foster beating Raymond Ford and then Navarrete to become. I think you got 2 fighters who are on the cusp of the pound for pound list, who are the definition of. I always say there's belt holders, and then there's quality champions, and then there's the elite. And I think Navarrete and Foster are absolutely bona fide quality champions. And I think the winner of that fight gets elevated to real elite status. 3 belts. They'd be, for all intents and purposes, basically the undisputed champion at 130. They've already had good careers and good wins up until this point. And I think whoever wins that fight, whether they actually do crack the 10th or 9th or 8th spot on the pound for pound list, they're elite. You know, they make that climb from very good to elite. So I love that fight.
I know for a fact, though, no matter who wins that fight, neither one of them is winning fighter of the year.
Who is?
They'll give it to I don't know. They'll give it to Shakur Stevenson or Inoue or something.
Inoue, what he did against Nakatani was historic. Nakatani's an elite fighter who was coming off his worst performance, to be fair, but he's an elite fighter. That was a very high-level chess match. I got a lot of shit for saying it was kind of a disappointing fight overall, not from a technical aspect. It was a great fight from a technical aspect, but didn't produce a lot of fireworks like we were hoping. Not until down the stretch in those championship rounds. But
Devin Haney and Shakur Stevens had the same fight. Everyone's gonna say it's a shit fight. The boxing, I'm gonna use your term. The boxing intelligentsia and the boxing hipsters are propping it up, and they're just saying, "Well, no, you don't understand what you're watching." I'm like, shut up. Yes, I do.
Yeah, man. Nobody called Trinidad De La Hoya a great fight just because it was fought between 2 undefeated pound-for-pound elite Hall of Fame fighters, and it was fought at an extremely high level. The fight didn't deliver. And back then, in 1999, when we weren't such little bitches about everything, they just said, well, that fight sucked. And then De La Hoya went in his next fight against Darrell Coley and knocked him out, and Trinidad went in his next fight and dropped David Reed 5 times, and it was back to business as usual. They were in exciting fights right after that multiple times, but for whatever reason, against each other at the peak of their powers, the fight didn't deliver. And back then, it wasn't a crime to say the fight didn't deliver. It's like those same people. I wonder, they'd be like, "Oh my God, it's high level. Oscar was boxing high level, and Trinidad's so high level. The fight didn't deliver."
People downplayed Oscar's performance against Oscar's fight with Pernell Whitaker. Me and you just recently rewatched that fight, and it was a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than most people remember.
No, you Trinidad and Whitaker.
I said, oh yeah, Trinidad and Whitaker. Yeah, Trinidad and Whitaker.
Oh man, we went back and watched Trinidad and Whitaker. That fight is underrated because I just remember it in the story of that fight always being told that Trinidad just beat the hell out of Whitaker, and Whitaker had no legs left, but had moments in that fight where he backed Trinidad up and buckled his knees. That was a last fight.
Fighting prime young Trinidad in the pocket and having success. That's why you can't compare all of these other fighters of today that like to compare themselves to Pernell Whitaker to him, because they don't have that in them.
Did you see this ad by DAZN with Oscar, Frank Warren, and Eddie and Todd DeBuff being like, DAZN?
No, that's a humiliation ritual.
Low key, because it's like, congrats, you guys have all kind of failed to some extent, even though you're all, super rich and have put on big fights. Now you're all stranded on DAZN, which is charging people even more money now, and they just keep.
I basically look at that as an unofficial ad for Zuffa Boxing.
I like that.
Of Zuffa being in the fold.
And you're talking to us, the Zuffa haters.
Yeah, and even like, okay, I'm probably gonna wind up going to this, but like the WBO IBF convention in December, that's the first ever unified convention. That's a result of Zuffa Boxing being in the fold.
Right.
And we're the Zuffa haters.
I mean, I certainly am, but I still have a brain.
What do you say, Sean? I remember one time I was going off. I was like, "Yeah, bro, the UFC PI, it's this, it's that," and you said, "It's a fucking boxing gym."
And you're like, well, and then you were like, well, technically it's a UFC gym and an MMA. I don't care about any of those fucking sports. I don't care about that shit. It's a boxing gym at the end of the day. It's got some heavy bags. All right. It's got a speed bag. You can put the mitts on. You could get in the ring and spar. Performance Institute. It's a fucking boxing gym. To be fair, though, Kenny Porter used to do the same thing to me. I'd be like, yeah, can I come to the gym? And he'd be like, Performance Center.
That's what that is what it was called.
Yeah, the Porter Performance Center.
Man, the Porters was doing that way before.
They were doing that before you. You're right. Stop jocking.
They had all that. I remember the first time I ever met Sean Porter in 2017 when I went to Vegas. I went to the Porter High Performance Center, and I saw him with the resistance band in the hyperbaric chamber hitting the punching bag. They had a punching bag in the chamber, and he was getting his eyes. So,
with the oxygen and everything. Yeah.
2017, he was doing this. Come on, man.
Yeah, they're showing Rolly and Ryan real quick. I don't think I'm predicting that fight, Rolly and Tio. Again, Rolly, I'll get into it this week with Raheem, but
yeah, I'm gonna stick to my original pick of Tio on points.
That's definitely what Vegas think is gonna happen.
What does this fight really mean, Sean? Big picture. What does Tio and Rolly really mean? I'm having a hard time really sinking my teeth in. Maybe I will during fight week, but
for Rolly, once and for all, going from the guy that people used to laugh at to laughing with, and pulling off his ultimate joke of substance, which is you all thought that I was the butt of the joke. And look, I've turned around and made two of the guys you dubbed the Four Kings the butt of the joke. I've beaten two of the most decorated amateurs of in the last 10, 15 years in American boxing. And I've beaten these two decorated in the amateurs and Tio in the pros as well. world champions who are looked at as blue chip kind of generational talents, if not fighters. I've beaten both of them. So I've overachieved and proven a lot of people wrong. And then for Teofimo, it's just getting back on the course he was always supposed to be on, becoming 3-division champion, getting this deal with the zone, just reestablishing himself as, a legit talent and not just a 2-hit wonder with Josh Taylor and Lomachenko. And southpaws with favorable style matchups. Taylor on the downside, Lomachenko smaller and older, didn't fight for half the fight, so for Teofimo, it's about getting back in the saddle. And for Rolly, it's putting the finishing touches on his ultimate troll. And the joke was on everybody else in boxing. The joke wasn't on him,
To your point about Rolly and everybody else, like him having the last laugh, everybody else being the butt of the jokes. It's kind of like one scene in one of my favorite movies, Dude, Where's My Car?, where all these nerds who go to outer space, they have their little interstellar jumpsuits, and the guy Zoltan, who's like the leader of all this, he's like, they laughed at us when we said aliens exist, but who's laughing now?
Yeah,
that's Zoltan.
Yeah, it's Rolly having his last laugh, and I said years ago on Sean's show that he's gonna beat one of these guys. He's gonna be the Ricardo Mayorga. I think I was like the first person to in boxing media to compare him to Ricardo Mayorga, and I said,
it makes sense.
Mayorga,
It makes sense. Rugged, unorthodox gunslinger.
Yeah, and people forget Mayorga was on the top 10 pound for pound list in 2003 after he beat Vernon Forrest, twice, and he even beat an old Fernando Vargas. So technically, he beat 2 of the great fighters of his generation. He got knocked out by Mosley, De La Hoya, and Trinidad, but he knocked out Vernon Forrest, and he beat Fernando Vargas, even though it was Vargas's last fight of his career. But Mayorga could actually fight. Mayorga was good. I mean, Mayorga at welterweight was a problem.
Yep.
And he had some hand speed and some power. He was like Rolly, because he's so awkward and wild, you think that you overlook the fact that he's an explosive athlete that hits hard. People don't overlook the fact that Rolly hits hard, but they do overlook his twitchiness and his explosiveness. He does have a lot of natural talent. That's the only reason why he's here starting at 17 years old is,
correct.
He has a lot of natural talent. So.
The best quality of, I would say, both those guys are not qualities you can see necessarily on tape. It's their conviction. It's their belief and their willingness to exchange with you that make up for some of the gap in skills with some of the other more technically polished fighters of their era.
I think with Teo, his talent has at various times jumped off the screen more and been, more pleasing to the boxing eye, like the purists. The hand speed, the quickness, the counter punching. When he was younger, the combination punching, the creativity. But Rolly has been a tougher sell to make people believe he's a world-class fighter. And if he beats Teo next Saturday, then people, whether they like it or not, are going to have to be sold on that fact. If Teo lights him up, beats him in decisive fashion, people could just say he was a one-hit wonder against Ryan. Ryan showed up flat and uninspired. Rolly had his number from sparring a little bit. But if Rolly pulls this off against Teofimo again as an underdog, then there's no more denying him that he is indeed, a world-class fighter. So,
Sean, we got a question from Chikian in the comments. He says, Sean and BT, should I go to San Antonio for Shock versus Navarrete? 2 of my favorite fighters, history to be made, and it'll be my first fight at the Alamo Dome, which hasn't had a fight in a while.
Yeah, I think you should.
I think I would advocate for it 10,000%. It's a great fight.
And at some point, you got to go out of state for a fight and cover a fight out of state. So why not pick that one, Chikian?
Real legacy fight. You'll get a real taste of what a legacy fight is. And the Alamo Dome is an amazing venue. They haven't. What was the last big fight they had there?
Maybe
Shock Foster.
Gervonta and Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah. Shock Foster, didn't he fight Ray Vargas there?
Yeah, but I think it might have been Gervonta and Leo Santa Cruz, the last big one I can remember. And before that, Canelo and Callum Smith, I think.
Yeah.
But all right, main event time. Kaye Scott, an inch taller, 2-inch reach advantage. I'm giving her virtually no chance to win this fight. I think the hand speed gap will be too much. Just the overall talent and hand speed. I think she'll be overwhelmed, like almost every girl is, by the combination punching of Claressa Shields. And I just think she'll be too slow and too stiff for Claressa Shields. But, you know, her body looks good. She's a strong woman, it would seem, in good physical shape.
I mean, she seems like she's has a good demeanor walking to the ring right now. I don't know what the hell is playing right now, but she's singing whatever song she's walking out to.
Yeah. I don't give her much of a chance. And Claressa Shields at some point, that's why I talked about I see a 49ers Dion jersey in there that looks amazing. I kind of want to cop that jersey. But she does need to. That's why I presented Tamara Thibault as an opponent, because this is 3 of her last 5 fights, whether it's Franchon Cruz Dezern, Danielle Perkins, or Kaye Scott. They've been older fighters. 2 of them 42, Kaye Scott and Danielle Perkins. Franchon Cruz Dezern, near 40 years old. And Tamara Thibault at 29, southpaw, tall, has power and snap to her game. That would be, to me, by far the best opposition since Savannah Marshall. You know, and I know Franchon Cruz Dezern is a former undisputed champion, so she's more decorated right now than Tamara Thibault. But, you know, to my boxing eyes, Thibault would be a much stiffer challenge, what she's bringing into the ring, than Cruz Dezern was in February. But all that being said, yeah, I don't give Kaye Scott much of a chance at all tonight. We'll see what happens. She's in the ring.
On a different note, you got Kevin Gates and Ernesto Mercado as some of the people standing in the ring right now as we await Claressa Shields.
Mark Taffet.
Shout out to Mark Taffet. I had a chance to meet him in May. One of the power players behind the scenes. Definitely one of the architects of Claressa Shields' career.
Joey Boxes says, when Tams puts hands on Claressa, would that make her the GOAT? I don't think so. I mean, it would just be an enormous win, one of the biggest wins in the history of women's boxing, but she would still have to clean out 3 or 4 divisions.
Sean, if she beats Claressa Shields, I mean, she already has like a bunch of degrees and speaks like 10 different languages. And I mean, that she's just the ultimate woman at that point. She's the real life Wonder Woman if she beats Claressa Shields.
Be arguably the biggest win in women's boxing history.
What is she, Canadian?
Yes.
Maybe it's the biggest win. Is it the biggest win Canadian?
This is official. Navarrete and Foster agree to terms for October 24th junior lightweight unification. Let's go.
Man, I don't know if I'll be at that one, but I'd love to be at
fire. That's a great match. Wow, that's a great fight for boxing. That might be the dopest fight on the schedule. It probably is.
It is. I might have to stay in America longer.
I'm pulling up to that fight.
I don't know if
All right, Claressa Shields now set to come to the ring.
Who's she walking out with? Let's see, because she's a superstar. I want to know who she's walking out with.
Adorned with a bunch of belts, huge entourage.
This is like a 1990s style entourage she's got walking to the ring with her.
Yeah. This is performance art for her. You know, if you know boxing, you're not really giving Kaye Scott any real chance tonight. So this is like a concert. This is a star fighter in their prime. Just ready. I don't know who that person is, bro. You tell me.
I'm pretty sure that's Lotto. Chat, let me know. Is the light-skinned girl next to Claressa Shields Lotto, the rapper? Latto?
But yeah, this is just a star fighter basically having a concert.
She picked the right venue.
Yeah.
And she's being flanked by her by Papoose.
Of course.
Brothers of Death, you don't understand. I got New York City in the palm of my hands.
It's the only song I know is the Touch It remix.
I know a lot of Papoose songs, but that's the most famous one.
Let's see. I'm trying to see something. Well, we got almost 300 people in here, so
That's all 300 of y'all rocking with us.
man.
Make your presence known in the chat. Let us know if any of you guys think Kaye Scott can pull off the biggest upset in the last, I don't know how many years.
One of the biggest upsets in here. I'll start a poll. Here we go. Does Kaye Scott?
Jamil said, shout out to YSM. He says, no one knows a lot of Papoose songs. I do.
Thank you, YSM.
I do, because I listen to
Cassidy.
I know a lot of unpopular mixtape rapper songs, unfortunately. Like Papoose.
I'm from Brooklyn, but he's a fake ass Cassidy. He was like the B tier Cassidy in 2005.
Do you have a favorite Cassidy song, Sean?
I liked his freestyle where he ended it by shouting out Bernard Hopkins. That maybe, yeah.
I like this like 15-minute diss song to Meek Mill.
I never even heard it.
Yeah.
But you never heard when he mentioned Bernard Hopkins?
No, but he mentioned Derrick Rose in the Cassidy in the Meek Mill diss.
He said, "I squeezed the John even if the law's watching. I'm too hard." The rap version of Bernard Hopkins.
Okay,
that was it.
On the Meek Mill song, he said, "You know me, a OG in the game. I was on point like Derrick Rose before he hurt his knee in the game. You the biggest pussy in the game." How does that look?
I guess you think you cast, but I think you trash, and I spank that ass. You ain't fucking with me. I think the freestyle was a diss to Lloyd Banks. The one with Bernard Hopkins being referenced. Yep. But he only has one good song, really, too, and that was, of course, "I'm a Hustler."
I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler, homie.
Props to the boy Sean. He made it a hot line. I made it a hot song.
I'm actually
ask about me.
I'm actually impressed with how like relevant Papoose has become, because I listened to Papoose when like literally nobody cared, and like he's getting all this promotion because he's with Claressa Shields.
All right, I'm gonna turn up the volume just a little bit on my TV to see what the entrance is. You know where I think she missed the boat? She should have came out with Eve one of these fights.
Like, who's that girl?
Yep. Who's that girl?
YSM says that we forgot about Cassidy Hotel featuring R. Kelly.
Girl, you wanna come to my hotel? That song sucked. I hated that song.
And R. Kelly had another song, Fiesta, Fiesta.
Yeah, this is Lotto. I now know because the Zone put up the graphic. Lotto, nah, man, we need that like, she's come out with Eve. Yeah, it's doing some Eve outfits. Maybe I'm just old. Chat, I think she should have came out to Eve.
They said, I don't know one Papoose song.
You're right. It's because not his song. It's Busta Rhymes' song. Is the only song I know him from.
He had a song where he rapped every letter of the alphabet called Alphabetical Slaughter, but that's like you gotta be a hip hop degenerate to know that song. I mean, I know a bunch of mixtape songs. He had a series called Law Library where he just talked about the laws.
We're just we're not the targeted audience for knowing Lotto. We're millennials.
I know who Lotto is because you're
a little younger than I am.
Yeah, and I'm privy to a lot of the younger women in America and the kind of stupid music that they like. So I know, Sean's a middle-aged man married with kids, so it's different. I just know the one song from Lotto where she's like, "I'll be acting brand new."
What if she would have came out to that chill song from Eve, Satisfaction?
I don't remember that song.
Everything I do ain't nothing better than the satisfaction. Now I'm doing, do this thing like it ain't been done before. All that shit.
Apparently, Claressa Shields charged Chiquille Boxing $20 for a photo.
Ooh.
Did you give it to her?
You probably did.
I mean, you have it.
All right, Claressa Shields in the ring now. Looks pretty close to a sellout there where the Hawks play in Atlanta.
Man,
Steps through the ring.
He's a bigger star than anybody on the Hawks right now.
Yeah. They did trade number 1 pick Zachary Lisachel.
I don't even know who that is.
Zachary Lisachel. All right. Shields gets her robe undone, and I wonder if she looks a little sloppy in this fight. She's looked sloppy in the exchanges her last couple fights, fighting kind of overmatched opponents, and then she her fights have a little bit of a pattern lately where she starts off hot, the pace is furious, and then her form deteriorates a little bit, and then in the late, the 9th or 10th round, she closes pretty strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does have that overwhelming hand speed and combination punching. Her and Katie Taylor share that in common, where once they run their numbers, it's just overwhelming for basically everyone else out there.
I remember me and you at your house watching the French on Cruz rematch, and we both said that Claressa could have stopped her. We've been asking her to tighten it up a little bit more for these last few fights. I don't think she really has to for a Kaye Scott, but you got, 17, 18,000 in there. Got to tighten it up and put the exclamation point on her tonight.
I wouldn't even expect that. I think it is what it is with her at this point. She's gonna show hand speed. She's gonna show head movements. She gets away sometimes from the tools that are working that can make them cleaner perform. I mean, she's shutting girls out. She dropped Perkins with a beautiful right hand in the 10th round of their heavyweight fight. But she's going to be sloppy in some spots, but she gets away with it because she's so much faster than the girls she's in there with. But like, she has great upper body movement and a great jab, but she'll forget about the jab. She'll start loading up on the shots sometimes, and but no one's made her pay for any of that. And I think, again, it would take a girl like Tamara Thibault to make her have to dial it up and tighten it up a little bit. I just think the hand speed and the combinations are going to overwhelm Kaye Scott. It's going to be too big a gap in hand speed.
We shall see. We shall see here in a little bit.
We shall.
Like,
not pay those $20. Good for you, Chiquille.
For you, man. Way to have some stuff.
Soon, so.
Sammy was a big fan of Missy Elliott.
Of course.
You should have came out with Missy Elliott. It's another one.
Who's the greatest female rapper of all time, Brendan?
Ever?
Yeah.
I like MC Light, but what do you think?
How
about let me see. Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah.
UNITY. I'm gonna go. God, I'm so sorry for people's eardrums tonight. I'm so sorry. I might go with Kim.
Lil' Kim?
I don't know though. It's like she's just rapping about her vagina a lot, but she's good at it. She's good.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Probably Missy Elliott, actually.
Who's
Bahamadia? How about that? I'll be underground and cool and say Bahamadia.
Who's see, that's under, I don't know.
Yeah. Or I'll say
just a real hip hop.
Yeah. I'll say Jean Grey.
I'm gonna go Rhapsody. Yeah.
The Brat, I do like that first album with Yeah, Debrat had some good songs. Functified. Let's see.
Someone said Cray Sean.
Go ahead.
Someone in the chat said Cray Sean. That's the girl that saw that song Gucci Gucci. Oh, you know what, Sean? I messed up, bro. The answer is Trina, South Florida. I gotta go with Trina.
I love her on Take It to the House.
Yeah.
SNS and we rocking
You're
this.
the baddest and the damn thing changed.
Now it's time to get down with your boy Ski Boys.
Money Mark and a Big Freak Show. Yeah, it's a good song. Hell of a song.
Get your crunk, get you loose in the stands.
This whole stream shot is just turned into one big karaoke session, and let's see who can have the more how many polls can you make from the 90s and 2000s.
We got a super chat from our guy Matt Borgeson says Foster versus Navarrete October 24th. I got Navarrete. Exciting. Yeah. Oh man, we're gonna stay focused on the main event, but that's probably the best fight left on the schedule now.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to call.
That fight is actually so good. I'm gonna have to push going to Japan probably for a month. I want to go to that fight.
That's gonna be a great fight, bro.
I gotta get it.
Foster's gonna get pushed to a new pace than he's ever consistently had to fight.
Yeah.
And I think Navarrete's going to bring the best out of Foster, or Foster will lose, but I think Navarrete will bring the best out of Foster. And if Foster wins that fight, Shakur's got to give him the fight, man.
I agree. There's people in the chat shop that have no clue what the hell any of these songs are that we're singing.
That was Take It to the House by Slip and Slide.
Yeah, Slip and Slide. Trick Daddy's
group.
It's South Florida anthem, Miami anthem.
An American anthem.
An American anthem, really.
One of the greatest songs of all time.
I got that bet with the Dolphins.
One of the greatest music videos of all time. All right, we're still getting through all the pageantries and the national anthem.
Okay, we ought to get paid. Born and raised in the county of Dade.
When me and Brendan were talking about this before the stream, we're like, it makes sense to have this fight in Atlanta. And Jaron Ennis said he wants to fight in Atlanta. It's like, okay, if a Mexican or Mexican-American fighter is fighting, where do they tend to put it? California, Texas, or Las Vegas, where there's lots of that live in those places?
Mexicans and Mexican-Americans.
Okay. And what did you tell me about Atlanta before the stream?
I said Atlanta is it has the highest black population of any major city in America. So therefore, Atlanta should be used for A-side black American fighters when they fight, i.e. Jaron Ennis, Tank Davis, them kind of guys.
Tank has fought there. Shakur has fought there. And it pains me to say, but Vegas is losing steam right now. So, you might have to put more of those fighters in Atlanta. It just makes sense if that's what the demographic is, to put more black American champions in Atlanta.
Hyro in the chat asked, why doesn't Devin Haney fight in Atlanta? Well, he was going to against
Keyshawn Davis, right?
But we know how that went. So
we know how that went. Right. He wanted to fight Keyshawn in Atlanta, right? That fight would have been the shit in Atlanta.
I would have loved it.
I don't think I've ever been to Atlanta.
I've been to Atlanta 3 times.
Is it really the place where the players play?
Oh, yes, it is.
And they ride on them things like every day?
Yes. And Southern hospitality is very, very high. Great food, great people.
Do parties not stop until 8 a.m?
This is very true. I've been witness.
So it's all true.
All of it is true. Jermaine Dupri didn't lie to us.
Do you see gangsters roaming?
They're out and about quite frequently, yes.
All right. All right. Judges being introduced. They've given a lot of pageantry to this. Yeah, but Claressa is, these have become events. Especially at the gate. Like I don't think she's like some pay-per-view. This fight isn't pay-per-view. It comes with your DAZN subscription.
But aren't they all these days on DAZN? Like
they all are, right? So what difference does it make? But And again, it's the recent tabloid stuff that's helped put her over the top as an attraction, but whatever it takes. All right. Claressa.
She's got the eye of the tiger.
Yep. Always.
There's Andre Durrell back there.
It's got the coca across the trunks, which nickname given to her affectionately by her grandmother, who she says raised her for the most part and told Shannon Sharpe asked to be buried stomach first so that the people she doesn't like could kiss her ass at her funeral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's cool seeing Andre Durrell with Claressa Shields on the stage, because I remember in 2016, before he turned pro, I saw Claressa Shields spar at Fifth Street Gym in Miami, and I actually interviewed Andre Durrell with Claressa Shields there, and I just remember him ranting and raving about how this girl was gonna be a superstar, and here we are 10 years later. And that's exactly.
And she has maybe the most underrated trainer in America in her corner, John David Jackson.
I love John David Jackson. I haven't talked to him in quite some years, but I feel like we gotta do like a video or something on John David Jackson. Maybe interview him one day.
Interview him, both of us.
Yeah,
you're right. That's a good idea. We gotta have Coach John on the channel. 2-time world champion from Florida, right?
Well, he's from Colorado, but
right. But he lives in Florida now. My bad.
Lived in Florida for years, but was a big influence for Sergey Kovalev. He trained Bernard, right? Didn't he train Bernard at one point, or was that all?
He was in the corner alongside Nazim.
I mean, he's a Nazim understudy, right, in the corner.
I mean, he's 2-time world champion, so I imagine he wouldn't consider himself an understudy.
No, I know, but I'm saying there's a process to being a trainer. I'm sure, like he took some things from Nazim, of course.
But Coach John David hasn't gotten any opportunities really with any notable fighters since Kovalev, and I think fighters are missing out by not giving some time to Coach John David Jackson. He's and look how low key he is. He trains the best fighter in women's boxing, pound for pound, and never see him in interviews anymore.
We were just talking about like Brian Norman Jr. He went to Ronnie Shields, and respect to Ronnie Shields, but we would have loved to have seen Brian Norman Jr. go with John David Jackson. Oh my God. Oh my God. That would have been fireworks. But anyway, that's enough of that.
All right. Well, Kaye Scott got introduced second. She is taller and bigger than Claressa Shields. Legitimately bigger, but again, I don't know if she'll have the hand speed and the fluidity and the feet to give Claressa too many problems, especially just 7 professional fights, 42 years old. The odds would appear to be slim, but once that bell rings, anything is possible. But let's see what goes on here. This would be the biggest upset probably in women's boxing history.
I think it would be the biggest upset in boxing probably since Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Notice?
The one.
Or Munguia Saras.
Yeah, Munguia Saras. All right, let's see. Round 1. Shields starting with her left hand a little bit low there. And already you see a little bit of the stiffness from Kaye Scott. Shoots a little right hand to Claressa's body, though. Claressa staying planted on her back foot a little bit. Lead hand low. Staying in front. Staying right in front of her. Double jab, straight right hand. But Scott knows her range enough to take a step out of range and make Shields fall short there. And Scott trying to punch to the shoulder a little bit. That lead left shoulder of Claressa Shields right there. Shields short again with a double jab right hand. She loops a right hand, misses a left hook wide. So Scott showing a good sense of distance early on. Now a triple jab by Shields to cut that distance, and she has some effectiveness with that triple jab. Right hand to the body underneath on Scott. She brings 2 shots up top. Left hook lands for Shields up top, but Scott lands a little bit of a left hook to punctuate that sequence. Scott lands her jab, but Shields 3 or 4 punches in that combination. Again, overwhelming her in these exchanges early on, getting off 3 or 4 to 1 with the hand speed advantage. But Scott showing a decent sense of distance right now.
She better keep this fight, at as slow a pace as possible. Like, don't minimize those Claressa Shields bursts and combinations. Okay.
But yeah, Scott is taller, is bigger. is being patient, but Shields right there gets off a 5-punch combination, digging to the body with a right hand and flurrying up top as Scott had to pull the hands up. And again, that's that hand speed and combination advantage you'd expect Shields to have in this fight. 10 seconds left in the first round is going to be a Shields round.
Yeah, for sure. Good right-hander by Shields.
Looping right hand, another looping right hand near the bell for Shields. And Shields just, able to press that button and get off 3 or 4 punches to 1. Your boy telling you basically what was going to happen right before it happens. He's going to overwhelm her with the hand speed and the combinations.
And inevitably, as Claressa puts these rounds in the bank, when Kaye Scott opens up, could get very ugly here.
Could get ugly.
But let's see. Maybe, we don't want to write nobody off, but you never.
No, and Shields could get a little reckless, could get a little overzealous with her combination punching, and Scott may just be weathering the storm early until she can time her in between one of those flurries, because you could get a beat on Claressa if Claressa gets repetitive with those combinations. She's throwing 4 or 5 at a time, kind of like Amir Khan used to do, and then Danny Garcia, boom, times him with one big left hook because he knows he's going to be a little too overzealous in those sequences and those combinations. Kaye Scott did land one left hook that round on the top of Claressa's head. Maybe she tries to land that shot again in between one of these flurries by Claressa Shields going forward. But here we go, round 2.
Here we go, round 2. Let's see if Kaye Scott can do something.
Time Claressa Shields.
Good little jab to the stomach there from Kaye Scott. Probably
that's a good jab to the stomach, yep. They trade jabs. Shields a little short with it early on. Now Shields jabs to the stomach.
Kaye Scott's at least trying to assert herself with her jab here early on.
Yep. 1-2 by Kaye Scott. Shields rolling those shots. 1-2, 1-2 back by Shields, and a combination by Shields, and that's the overwhelming hand speed advantage for Claressa Shields. Getting off about 20 punches in a sequence of 5 or 6 or 7 seconds right there, finishing up to the body, but that's just too much hand speed for Kaye Scott to deal with right there.
Not even breathing hard.
And those combinations are exciting for the crowd. The hand speed's impressive. Not all those shots are always perfectly thrown, but the hand speed and the ability to put punches together, that excites the crowd. And the hand speed is impressive on those combinations. So 45 seconds left in the second round. Shields with that burst midway through the round, definitely ahead in this round. Moving her shoulders well. Good defense by Shields with the upper body. Now she shells up into a high guard, exchanges with Kaye Scott there and digs to that body with that left hook. But Scott touching Shields a little bit in close there when Shields went here. Go ahead, BT.
No, Kaye Scott, I mean, she's definitely having her moments asserting her jab here in round 2, but the hand speed of Shields is definitely the difference in this particular round. And also the up jab. Claressa has been very committed to that up jab. Even when she's not landing, it's forcing Kaye Scott to take a half step back and reset. And that's allowing Claressa to get a moment to breathe and get to what she wants to do next. So, yeah, better round for Kaye Scott, but I would still say a Claressa Shields round, clearly.
Yeah, wide round for Claressa Shields. I don't think, respectfully, BT, I don't think Kaye Scott accomplished much of anything that round. She was able to find Shields a little bit and touch her a little bit when Shields went here and dug with the left hook to the body and exchanged in close. But Shields showing some good defense with the shoulders up top. And just, again, as expected, like we told you, chat, right before the fight started, the advantage in hand speed and combination punching will probably overwhelm Kaye Scott. And through the first 2 rounds, that's what's going on here in Atlanta.
To put it bluntly, the difference in hand speed is about as wide as the Grand Canyon. But, Kaye Scott gets an A for effort. She's in there. She's trying.
What is Henry Turner complaining about?
What is he saying?
Don, you so effing sad. It's not funny anymore. What's sad? Me perfectly breaking down the fight right before it happens?
Shut your
bitch ass up.
Bitch ass up.
Yeah. Here we go. Round 3. Take this round, BT, a little bit.
Round 3, we have Kaye Scott trying to counter over the top. There's nothing doing there. Shields is just holding her ground, waiting for her to fall forward and counter her with a nice burst. Claressa Shields shooting an up jab, keeping Kaye Scott at bay. Kaye Scott was a little hesitant, and she showed some verbal cues even in that last round of being a bit startled with the hand speed. Nice
little
right.
bit of a different look here from Shields, dropping both hands down, loosening up.
Now she's changing the cadence.
Ooh.
You see circling the ring. She's got her hands
there,
fouling on her a little bit.
Maybe trying to get a beautiful left hook off the slip to the body, sweeping right hand to the body too, shortening up her punches in the combination, throwing hooks with both hands on Kaye Scott.
Good right hand by Claressa Shields down the middle.
Triples up the jab, sweeps the right hand behind it. Scott keeping the gloves up to catch that.
4 straight jabs and then overhand right. Even the jabs that don't land, they're still effective, pushing Kaye Scott back.
There's a little left uppercut by Kaye Scott when Shields went to the high guard in close.
Don't make it rugged. Don't let her outskill you. Good right hand there by
off the double jab. Yep. Caught Scott pulling straight out.
Double jab right hand. The thing that really continuously impressed me about Shields is her fluidity. How seamless the punches come back, the positioning.
Nice 1-2 up top again. Another 1-2. Takes a step out of range, making Scott have to hit nothing but shoulders a lot of time, that lead left shoulder. And a combination at the end of the bell by Shields, throwing about 10 punches there. Just always overwhelms these girls when she lets her hands go in combinations.
Yeah, her power punches, Kaye Scott's power punches, you know, she can't get anything going with her power punches. So Claressa Shields is able to dictate pretty much everything because she's not hurt and she's not threatened by anything coming her way.
Matt Borgeson said, Claressa is a king on an island with 40 people on it at this point. She has it all, but is in a class of her own in a barren wasteland of talent. Well said.
The only hope is the tall Canadian girl with the tattoo sleeve who speaks 6 languages and has degrees. That's a tall southpaw that can box and has pop, you know. The
Mayer fight will be fun.
Yes.
One thing the reason why the Michaela Mayer fight is going to get people out of their seats at one of these Claressa fights is because when Claressa presses that button and overwhelms with combinations, Michaela's going to throw the fuck down with her and go blow for blow. And Claressa will get the better of it, but Michaela's going to land some shots and hold her own and make it an entertaining fight. I guarantee you that.
You must also mention the fact that, you know, Claressa did get dropped by Hannah Gabriels before, you know, so you never know what can happen.
Yeah. It's a long time ago.
I know.
And I don't think Mayer coming up in weight can really punch. She's an accumulate. She's a grinder with that's technically sound. But all right, round 4. Shields making the most of that up jab. Good defense by Shields, parrying down with the right glove, fighting behind her left shoulder. Triple jab by Shields. Scott, you know, outgunned in speed.
Outgunned, and as the rounds wear on, she's losing more and more conviction in her jab.
2 good right hands to the body by Shields off the up jab. Shields, good defense, goes to the shoulder roll, snipes with a little right hand to the body underneath out of that shoulder roll look, and making Scott hit nothing but that lead shoulder right now. Shields fighting very well behind her shoulder and doing her own version of the shoulder roll. And I liked it. I like it with, like, Bernard Hopkins had his own version of the shoulder roll. Nice body shots by Shields, and I think that hurt Scott in close. Shields dug to the body in close a little bit. And there's a few moments here and there in these rounds where she's allowing the gap to close so she could dig to the body. Hard right hand through the center.
If she keeps committing to the body, eventually a big shot to the head's going to open itself up. I mean, she's landed a lot of right hands to the head anyway, but eventually that'll wear her down.
Yeah. She should stay to that body there.
Floyd Mayweather Floyd Mayweather is very locked in on this fight.
She's good. Floyd actually looks impressed and engaged in the fight, which he didn't at all in the co-main event. But what I like about Claressa's shoulder roll is you got to come up with your own version of the shoulder roll. You can't just do your Floyd Mayweather impersonation. The shoulder roll existed long before Floyd and was made effective by fighters that do what's comfortable to them behind the shoulder, and that's what she's doing with her look out of that shoulder roll look.
I mean, yeah, too. Like, I mean, there's the shoulder rolls a defensive system that you have to master. You can't just kind of half-ass it or halfway know it. And different fighters have different counters that they like off the shoulder roll, and you got to figure out which ones feel the most comfortable for you. And it seems like Claressa's figured that out.
I'd also like to see her fight in 3-minute rounds.
Yeah, she would get more stoppages.
Well, it's just like
if she maintained the same pace that she would in the 2-minute round, because a lot of times when they add the extra minute on, girls will fight different. They'll take their time more.
Well, it's that she flirts and drifts between styles and looks and tools in her fights a lot. One moment she'll do the up jab. The third round, she dropped both hands and fought off her bounce. She'll do a shoulder roll. She'll tighten it up and step in close for a second and rip to the body. But they're just little glimpses and little flashes of each of them. And then she inevitably goes to the combination punch to just overwhelm and leave no doubt. I would like to see her have more time to explore all these different tools she has in the bag. So in the 5th round, again, 30 seconds into it, overwhelming with the combination. She backed up on the ropes willingly in that shoulder roll look. Fought well off of it, came off the ropes with her jab, and then overwhelmed Scott with a combination again. But I'd like to see her be able to have longer stretches of showing off these different looks and these different tools she has. Because again, you get little glimpses of each one, and then comes the inevitable, 10-punch combo. And so right here, she's fighting off the shoulder roll on the ropes, and Scott.
She's doing her work.
Yeah. What's up?
She's doing her James Toney, her shoulder roll off the ropes.
Yep. Sweeping some right hands and some left hooks off the ropes. Scott actually finally finds her with a little bit of a left hand, but no leverage on it. There's a little right uppercut from Scott, too. Shields pushes off. 2 hard body shots. Rolls a shot. Comes back with a sweeping right hand. Shields' punch is being smothered by Scott, too, though. But there's another right hand to the body and a sweeping right hook up top off the ropes.
Kaye Scott's not very much of a compact puncher either. There's nothing on her shots in close.
No. 1-2, another 1-2 through the center, and gets a little reaction out of the legs of Kaye Scott. 10 seconds left in the 5th. Lead right hand by Shields. Getting tied up, but punching with the free right hand to the body.
Hammering with the right hand of the body.
Yep.
So it's a very easy fight to score. It's straightforward. 5-0, Claressa Shields.
Yep.
It's not a matter of if she'll win, but how.
Someone said, Attorney Bailey, thanks, brother, says, Sean, she needs to show her creativity to stop Scott. It just, no, I don't know. I don't see it happening. Again, I like that she has a lot of different tools and looks, but again, it's like she drifts between them too much. Sean Porter always talks about using the right. Are you going to use the handgun for this guy or the shotgun, or do you got to pull out the automatic? Like, which tool is needed for the assignment? And Claressa, in a lot of her fights, she just drifts between each tool, shows you she could do a number of different things, and then almost always punctuates at some point with the 10-punch combo. But I feel like if she could
to both, like to make her have to dig deeper into her toolbox and deal with a girl who's rangy and can punch and mobile. And
I don't think it's even like digging into the toolbox. I think she digs into the toolbox in most of these fights, like she is now, but it's forcing her to choose the right tools consistently throughout the whole fight.
Yeah.
Because these girls, it's like, am I going to whoop her ass with the up jab and the shoulder roll? Am I going to whoop her ass with the 10-punch combo? Am I going to whoop her ass fighting off the ropes? Am I going to step in here and there and hit her body? There's the double jab to the body right there, 30 seconds in. Little flicker lead right hand there in the center of the ring. Right hand over the top of Scott's jab. Scott nods to say that shot landed. lead right hand combination, sets up a left hook to punctuate that sequence in the center of the ring, lands for Shields, doubles up on the left hook, back on the straight right hand. I think part of why she doesn't get a lot. Oh, there's a big right hand left hook.
Is this the moment?
Scott. Oh, big left hook.
Oh,
Hey, Scott punches in between.
Daggers. He's buckled.
Oh, and Scott goes down into the ropes. The ropes hold her up, and it's a knockdown. She never recovered from a vicious left hook Shields set up by throwing combinations.
Oh, yes. Kaye got ready to go. She's like, why the hell am I here?
You know the combination's coming. Her version of a De La Hoya kind of just overwhelm him with a flurry, make the ref have to call it. Lead right hand follows up with a combination 1-2-1-2, and the towel comes in.
There's the towel.
That's a 6th-round stoppage for Claressa Shields.
Another remarkable performance from the Glow. This fight was exactly like what it looked like on paper.
Beautiful left hook.
Beautiful left hook. Beautiful performance. An absolute just Picasso of the sport. Claressa Shields.
Even, yes, if it's against a 42-year-old with 7 fights, but still, that's who's out there with 2 belts in this weight class. The other fighter with 2 belts in this weight class would provide a much more interesting challenge, but that was a beautiful left hook. And Brendan, that's the kind of performance when you send the crowd home happy like that in front of a packed crowd like that, it's only going to raise your star and your stature as a draw. So,
and I reiterate, and so some of it is satire, but nah, man, she's great. The greatest American fighter in the post-Floyd Mayweather era. I actually believe that.
Over Terrence.
Yeah, she has 2 gold medals.
I can't put her above Terrence Crawford, but
I know it's different.
The accomplishments speak for themselves. But
21 times? I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, 21-time world champion now, right?
21-time world champion. I mean, she's not just greatness, Sean. She's redefining what greatness is in the sport of boxing. You understand? I remember
the generational American athlete. I've said that for years.
I remember being at the 2016 WBC convention, and she had to do media, and a lot of the boxing people at that time didn't like her, didn't want to talk to her, for preying on her downfall just because of how she was, being so outspoken and whatnot. And she had a lot of pressure coming into the pros to succeed and achieve, and she's done that in spades. In spades, she's redefined greatness in boxing. So you can sit here and say it's women's boxing, it's Kaye Scott, this, that, and the third. She beat everybody, with the exception of Tam Tebow and I guess Michaela Mayer, who she's probably gonna fight. She's beating everybody that's been asked of her to fight.
I think that fight might be next, Michaela Mayer, as long as Michaela beats Chantel Cameron. But that was a beautiful left hook set up off the combination to really end the fight. And you're sharing your story about people maybe not liking her at the WBC convention. I have a great story. This is before her professional debut, and I'm on the bus with the media, some very well-known, largely followed media types in boxing. We're on the bus in September 2016 to Cowboy Stadium, AT&T Stadium, to watch Canelo fight Liam Smith. And they were scoffing and laughing at the notion that she thought she could earn $1 million purse in women's boxing. And I jump in and I go, you don't think she can do it? I think she could do it. I was like, I'm like, look at Serena Williams, like who really gives a fuck about women's tennis? But she's such a dominant generational athlete that kind of talent is going to get to the money somehow. And I told them right there, it was a couple of guys who are probably going to be in the Boxing Hall of Fame as media members. And they just were like, there's no money in women's boxing. It'll never happen. And here she is, probably making multiple $1 million purses now in her career. So good for her. The boxing purists and intelligentsia will obviously point out the lack of depth in these divisions compared to lower divisions and all that. But at some point, like you said, 21 world titles, 2 gold medals, never coming close to losing a fight. This level of dominance speaks for itself.
Bro, if you hate on Claressa, you're just a miserable person. You're a hater. She's great. She's redefined greatness in the sport of boxing.
Go ahead, BT.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of you don't like women's boxing, and in recent years, I probably will side with a lot of you guys. Like, I don't like it as much as I used to. However, there are certain athletes that come around that will not just be great, not just be Hall of Famers, but they redefine how we actually look at what greatness actually is in the sport. Like, I remember watching her spar men at Fifth Street Gym, Miami, also in 2016. And obviously, I don't think the men were going 100%, but just her understanding of positioning, her overall ring craft was up there with some of the greatest fighters I've ever seen in my time doing this. Which is going to be 11 years next month. So she's great. Stop being cool. Jesus.
She's a great fighter. And probably the greatest female fighter of all time. I believe she is. If you think it's Katie Taylor or Amanda Serrano or someone else, that's fine. But in my book, she is the greatest. She is the GOAT. That's not a virtue signal. That's not trying to be invited to the cookout. It's just what I think. If you don't like her because she talks about beating men and you think she's ridiculous for that, that's fine. If you think she's narcissistic and hell, if you think she's too ratchet, whatever, that's fine. But what you can't discredit is this level of dominance. What could she do? Shrink her, pray to God that she wakes up 126 pounds so there's many more women in her weight class. And this level of dominance is about as dominant as it gets in any sport, So she is. I saw the ladies ringside doing the thing. It's funny, but she's an all-time great athlete at this point.
If and look, I mean,
she's not being challenged. Well, Vladimir Klitschko didn't have a lot to be challenged. Even Joe Louis, who Brendan will fight me for bringing this up, but Joe Louis had a bum of the month club.
Correct, and I think
so you can only fight the people with the belts that are there, the top fighters in the division, and she's done that repeatedly and not even come close to losing. Christina Hammer's a good fighter, and Savannah Marshall is a good fighter, and she handily beat both of them. There's other good fighters on her resume. I think if she was the same size as Amanda Serrano, she'd beat Amanda Serrano. I think she'd beat Katie Taylor, but yes, those fighters fight in divisions where there's many more women to fill out the depth of talent. But what she lacks in the quantity of fighters at her division, she just makes up for with sheer dominance. Those other fighters we mentioned have lost and had multiple close calls in their career. She has hardly lost rounds as a professional. So
I agree.
We got a super chat from It's Party Time Too. Says it's a lot of haters in the comments. Don't down her, crown her, suckers.
I'm with you. I'm with the champ, Claressa Shields. Like, I'm actually, like, I don't say this about many fighters, but I'm grateful to have witnessed the Claressa Shields career from beginning to end, from the amateurs to the gold medals to her time in the pros. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm enjoying however many more fights are left. I'm just enjoying every last one of them.
I do want to see the Tam Thibault fight.
Tam Thibault to me is definitely in terms of just.
But she's just 5 fights in too, so she's she probably wants to get some more experience.
But no, she won the Ring Magazine title.
Right.
If you're good enough to win a Ring Magazine title at that stage, then
let's get it.
Take the test. Let's run.
Yeah, you're right, because I definitely don't want to see another 42-year-old.
Correct. I think we're tired of that. It's cool. For a fight or two, but I mean, this is who had the belt.
But props to her, man. This could have been another 10-round shutout for her, but with Shakur ringside and Floyd ringside and Terrence ringside and Keyshawn and Usher and all these celebrities and fighting outside of Detroit in a fan base that wants to be compelled to see you again and isn't only just going to be loyal to you because you're fighting at home in Detroit. I mean, she put on an A+ performance, as expected. Kaye Scott, again, totally outgunned and overmatched, even with the 2 belts, 42 years old, 7 pro fights, had lost before tonight, but she got her out of there. So
Sean, how many times have me and you either covered fights or had to make videos about fighters that are in clear mismatched fights, and they don't have performances like that. They go 10,
Yeah.
they don't put their foot on the gas.
Yeah.
Uses and say, "Oh, I got hit with one shot in 10 rounds, and I had to be safe." Like, nah, man. If there's a gap in class, if they don't belong in the ring with you, get them up out of there.
And she did.
And that's what she did. So, more do you want?
I want to see her fight 3-minute rounds at some point. Michaela, Tamara Thibault, those are the fights that matter right now in her career. So, but give her all the props as always. Matt Borgeson with the super chat says, she is slick when she wants to be. She can swat when she wants to, fight inside and outside. She could literally do it all. I agree. And I think sometimes she doesn't get the knockouts because she doesn't always sharpshoot. She gets a little bit wild with her combinations. And the girls from the outset, I think they get hurt and overwhelmed, and they start to fight in a shell and not give her a lot of opportunities to punch in between. And the opportunities to punch in between is usually when you really hurt somebody. Kaye Scott, to her credit, she opened up in that exchange when she got hurt. She got caught in between with that hook, didn't see it coming, flung her jaw around. She got stopped. A lot of these girls getting overwhelmed early in the fight, they shell up quite a bit. And so that kind of shot to land in between doesn't always present itself in her fights. In addition to her not always sharpshooting as well, getting a little ugly in her form sometimes in those combinations, getting a little wild. But tonight she put it together to get the knockout.
A lot of people in the chat are asking about Lauren Price. Now, I don't act like I'm a Lauren Price expert, but she's
too little.
She's down there and wait. Do y'all want her to fight Yokosta Vai next too? Should she move down?
Let the Michaela Mayer fight be next. Mayer will actually bring some competition. She'll punch with shields. She'll land some shots. She'll throw down. She'll be durable. She'll be tough. She'll be conditioned. She'll exchange. Claressa beats her, but it'll be a really entertaining fight. And then we can get to the girl that's really a threat to her, and that's Thibault. But D Chicago, don't want to act like we don't have a lot of dissenting voices in here because we definitely do. How is it hating because her resume is trash? What great fighter has she fought? He asks.
How's it trash? So in her professional debut, she beat Franchon Cruz. Franchon Cruz literally went on to become the undisputed champion, and then she beat her again earlier this year, like 10 years after she beat her the first time. Savannah Marshall was pound for pound, arguably, or at least in the top 5 biggest punches in women's boxing. She went to the UK and beat her in the UK. That was supposed to be the girl, and the list goes on and on and on. Hannah Gabriel's former champion, big time puncher, beat her twice. The first time they fought, Hannah Gabriel's dropped her. Claressa got up and won. They said, "Oh well, Claressa didn't look good. She got exposed. She got up. She did the rematch and she beat her better."
No, I think they only did fight that one.
Right? If I want, my
fought that one time. Yep.
Okay, I'm tripping, but
yeah, Hannah Gabriel's
is
a 3-time world champion with 13 knockouts and 22 wins, which is a pretty solid knockout percentage in women's boxing. And Christina Hammer was 24-0, a unified champion.
And bro,
has still only lost once to Claressa Shields.
I was there at the convention before Claressa had even turned pro.
There was a lot of people picking Christina Hammer.
There was a lot of people picking Christina Hammer, and I remember they had Christina Hammer and Claressa Shields facing off at the damn convention in 2016. The video's on my channel. It's there. Like, it's been there for years. So, like, nah, man, this is what happens. Like, she's consistently been great. She's redefined greatness in the sport of boxing, in the women's boxing. And when you're that much better than everybody else, they gotta downplay you. That's what it is. That's how I see it.
I mean, no, I don't even want to say
if she Michaela,
if you want to point out that it's a fact of life that her talent pools are thin in her divisions. At some point, this level of dominance speaks for itself.
If she beats Michaela Mayer, they're gonna say she already lost to was it Bumgardner? If she beats Tam Thibault had less than 10 fights. That's what people are gonna say.
Tam Thibault has less than 10 fights, right? So here's the fair point to contrast, bringing up that point to people like D Chicago and others who, again, it's fair to bring that up. But my question to you then would be, what do you want her to do? To create a fighter that doesn't exist, that you know, at some point you can only beat the people in front of you, and if you're that good, you beat them in dominant fashion, which she always does. That's it. Did you want Joe Louis to only fight the guys in his era, you know, and it was a much tougher era than it is in women's boxing and her weight classes, but still, that's the point. His resume wasn't as good as Evander Holyfield's or Lennox Lewis's, or, you know, I think even probably Larry Holmes had tougher opposition in the 80s. But, I mean, did Joe Louis ever fight a guy like Ken Norton, like Larry Holmes did? But at some point, what was it, 25 title defenses from Joe Louis, you know, bum a club or not, a level of dominance speaks for itself. And again, I would just ask you, well, then what do you want her to do? Do you want her to wake up tomorrow and be at a size that she just wasn't born to be at? Do you want her to create do you want her to go into create a fighter and then
this isn't NBA 2K where you can shrink or make somebody way bigger or way smaller. Like the body, everybody's body composition is different. She was the heavyweight champion. She's been middleweight champion. She's won every weight class she could possibly compete in. She's dominated.
Junior middle, super middle, and heavyweight. Right. And Alicia Baumgartner calling her out at welterweight is just a clout chase. It's barking behind a fence, because you know she can't get down to welterweight. She's never fought below 154 pounds. You're a super featherweight. You've never fought above 130 pounds. She's what is she, undisputed in 4 weight classes now, if not 3. And so, you know, she's selling out arenas. You've never sold out an arena. The one time you may have sold out an arena, you were her undercard against Michaela Mayer to Savannah Marshall's and Shields fight. If you're really serious about that fight, then you go up and fight her at 154 pounds. That's the minimum she can make. I understand Chris Cyborg saying, hey, why don't we fight? You know, I've been calling out that fight. That's a big fight. Chris Cyborg, she has a right to feel ducked because she's a big name in combat sports, and she's unlike Alicia. She's willing to fight at 154. They've sparred each other. You know, I think Claressa would beat her, obviously, but
yeah,
you know, that is a fight. Why not? You know, if we're thinking of another fight outside of Michaela Mayer and Tam Thibault, then why not the Chris Cyborg fight? You know, it's a fight between 2 big names in women's, you know, combat sports.
Attorney Bailey, I gotta address this Joe Louis comment. He says no, Joe Louis actually avoided a lot of black fighters. And to that, I would say I didn't know that Jersey Joe Walcott and John Henry Lewis were white. And they're both in the Hall of Fame.
Put us on some game, though. You know, Attorney Bailey might know some black fighters we don't know from that era. I know Charlie Burley fought as high as heavyweight, and nobody wanted to fight him, I believe. So,
I mean, they'll say Joe Louis avoided the black fighters, and they'll say Rocky Marciano beat everybody that was old, and he was only good because of the mafia, and he wasn't shit as heavyweight.
Right. Letitia and Macaulay says Shields went up in weight to get belts and avoided real competition. Tomato cans is all she's fought. Did she not get a couple of email belts also up there at the heavier weight? No, she beat whoever was holding them. They didn't email them to her. But which fighters do you feel she has ducked?
Please,
who she went up in weight and avoided? Let me hear this.
Educate me, please. Who is this lush? Who are these amazing women's fighters that?
I would have liked to have seen her fight Shadeja Green, but Lanny Daniels and Franchon Cruz-Lazerne both beat Shadeja Green, and she handled both of them, you know, in dominant fashion. That's not the same as beating Shadeja Green. I would have liked to have seen that fight, but. And
to Attorney Bailey's point, you know, he's talking about, oh, that's only 2 fighters. I didn't know Jimmy Bivens was white either. Have I ever done 10 push-ups? I've done 100, I've done 50, I've done plenty of push-ups.
He's trained and sparred with professional boxers, my guy.
Rounds in a world title training camp 3 months ago. You know, and I'm not even a fighter.
Yeah, Cyborg is actually she's 6-0. She's 41, which isn't old by Claressa Shields' opponent standard, to be fair, but the fighters she's fought have a combined win-loss record of what? 31 wins, 35, 38, 40, 36 and 40, 38 and 40, 38 wins and 42 losses. So she's fought 6 fighters with a combined up and down record, and she's yet to capture a major sanctioning title at 154. So if she really wants to fight with Claressa, she has to try to at least get her hands on one of the major sanctioning bodies' titles, because Kaye Scott did have a world title.
That's why she got the fight.
That's why she got the fight. It's because she has the WBC and WBA belts.
And her style, you know, or lack thereof, got her the fight.
And I think Danielle Perkins, even at 5-0, no, she didn't have a title.
Look, man, when you win a world title 21 times, I don't care. 21 times.
It gets to a point.
Like, you can't say all the girls she beat weren't good, and you can't downplay all of them. She beat some pretty good fighters. She beat the best fighters of her era.
Yeah, and Danielle Perkins actually won a WBA title after this loss to Claressa by stoppage. So make of that what you will. In a very thin division, but still. What's up, Vegas Sports Today? My guy Mike.
Shout out to Mike Dixon, man. They you know, I'm not really trying to put nobody down, but they talk about like Claressa Shields being gifted all these belts. Listen, we made the joke about it earlier in the live, like in the Mauro Ronaldo voice. Like, now, if you said like Amanda Serrano was like an 7 division champion or whatever it is. Like, the majority of her titles have been vacant titles, mostly like WBO. But I still think Amanda Serrano is an awesome fighter, because even in her losses as a smaller girl, she was able to back up Katie Taylor in some of those fights, and arguably, you know, she was right there with Katie Taylor, who's a great fighter in her own right.
I'm just tweeting something.
Somebody in the chat has finally decided to recognize the lyrical greatness of Papoose by saying alphabetical slaughter was hard. This the music live. Yeah, sandwiched in between the Claressa Shields fight. This has been a live about music, because the undercard didn't give us a ton to talk about, you know. But I'm appreciative to watch Claressa Shields do her thing, you know, win.
Yep. I enjoyed it.
I mean, everyone was saying that, you know, boxing was boring, and, you know, it's not really an exciting time right now for the sport. But I feel like, you know what, Sean, we did the best we could to make it exciting for the boxing fans out there, and even ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we called the action good throughout the night, you know.
Oh, listen, we told y'all in the first round of Troy Isley and Joseph Hicks what it was going to be, to the T.
We told you before the fight, she's 42. She has 7 fights. She really has no chance. She's going to get overwhelmed by the speed. She did. And, you know, it's not like we built up Kaye Scott into King Kong or Godzilla. We knew what it was, but
we knew it was a showcase for Claressa Shields to entertain.
That's all it was. And she did, and she showcased. That's it. If you're gonna, what stars do, if you're gonna put De La Hoya in with Patrick Carpentier, right? If you're gonna put Terrence Crawford in with David Avanesian, although David Avanesian fucking beat Josh Kelly, so that win, I put more respect on the David Avanesian win for him and Boots now. But if you're in against an opponent who's a huge underdog and you're fighting in front of a crowd that's showing up to see you, they're not there to see the matchup because the matchup isn't conceived as particularly competitive.
A lot of
you to
boxing
do what she did.
They're not even really boxing fans like that. A lot of them are probably just casuals, and they're there because Claressa Shields is a cultural movement. You know, it's an event. It's an opportunity to go get dressed up and go out and pregame before you go to the club on a nice Saturday night in Atlanta. So you gotta deliver, and she did that.
Okay, so here we go. We got the question of the night, maybe. In their prime, who wins, Claressa Shields or Layla Ali? Claressa.
Claressa Shields. For sure.
Claressa Shields.
Now, what about Claressa Shields versus Ann Wolfe?
Claressa Shields. I think her level of fluidity and overall hand speed is just different than Layla and Ann Wolfe. I think both of them punch harder than her, or at least are heavier handed than she is. But then again, speed can be power, and she's faster than both of them were.
You can
Layla Ali, that would have been a fun fight. Both of them would have been, both of them would have been interesting fights. But I think Shields beats both of them. I'm not going to let nostalgia overtake, just what my boxing eyes have seen.
I mean, it's seen greatness. I would have liked the Ann Wolfe fight, just because, the one time, like one of the only times, it might be the only time she got dropped again was against Hannah Gabriel. She was a kind of a shorter, stockier fighter. Ann Wolfe was very good at getting underneath shots, and she was really strong. So that would have been a fun one. But I think in the end, Claressa Shields is her boxing IQ, her versatility, her deep understanding of positioning, her overall, the same things we praise Terence Carter for. I feel like Claressa has some of those same qualities, like her feel for the fight. Like they talk about it in basketball with the great point guards like John Stockton, right, or Magic Johnson. They have a great feel for the game. They know how to use a pick and roll. She knows when to step to the right, when to step to the left, when to feint, when to probe, when to get into a high guard, which punch to throw out of the Philly shell, when to use the Philly shell. Like she has truly mastered her craft. So I think in the end, yeah, those girls are going to make for some vulnerable moments if Claressa gets careless, but how often is Claressa going to get careless in a fight of that magnitude? I don't see it.
Yeah, I think someone asked, what if Layla tries to walk her down? She's going to run into a lot of shots. She's going to get hit a lot. She's going to see hand speed she's never seen from a woman before. So, and they both started boxing later. I think Layla didn't start boxing until almost 20 years old. Same with Ann Wolfe. They both started boxing basically as adults. And Claressa's been boxing since she was a little girl, and got to come up with a level of amateur pedigree that wasn't offered as an opportunity. The game wasn't as evolved back then in women's boxing for Layla Ali and Ann Wolfe. So I think Claressa would have beat both of them, but I would love to have a time machine to see it. But before we get out of here, we'll see what else anybody's got to ask us.
We appreciate everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for joining us and making this an exciting night for us, and hopefully it was an exciting night for you guys too on what to slowly,
Exactly. So, let's see. Sean, let's talk real. Says Joel. Hi man. Sean, good to see you, Joel. He's always in the chat. Sean, let's talk real boxing. Navarrete versus Shocky Foster. Shock Foster on a Saturday. He's signing to fight an all-timer in Navarrete. Shakur is waiting his turn to be in the Bud Floyd picture. Different cloth, Sean. If I had a gun to my head right now, who would I pick? I really don't know, bro. I could see, like, okay, sometimes some of us would be tempted. Foster, the slick black fighter, will, with his defensive prowess and shoulder roll and counterpunching and overall skill set, he will, and his name is Ice Water, right? That's one of his nicknames. Yep. He will cool off the inferno, the offense of the offensively dynamic Mexican warrior. The Mexican warrior Navarrete, he throws more combinations, he has more power, he's in more entertaining fights, but up against a true, slick, smart Black American fighter, he will put the fire out with that Ice Water. But I think a decent number of people were thinking that about Lamont Roach and William Zepeda.
Yep.
And you underestimate the ranginess and the IQ and the skill of the Mexican warrior in this scenario. And Navarrete, like Zepeda, is a little trickier, a little more savvy, a little rangier than you think he is. Punches off rhythm, mixes up his punches. It's hard to get a beat on him.
It's not as easy to hit as people think he is.
The chin's right out there and it's flailing around, but you're missing. and he's hitting you in between. And now you're caught in that blender.
You know what? I'll say this. I don't have a prediction yet, but I think however that fight goes, it's ending in a split decision.
But then at the same time, Navarrete, who is up and down, and I don't think that's an excuse for him. I genuinely think Robson, Conceição, Denis Berinchyk, he was kind of Oscar Valdez, Ricardo Nunez. Yeah, it's against another Mexican fighter who's kind of right in front of him, Valdez and Nunez, whereas Conceição is long and won a gold medal and has some hand speed and some length, and Berinchyk with the front foot feints and the Ukrainian feints and southpaw and taking some movement. So I think Conceição and Berinchyk had something to do with it, but I also think Navarrete wasn't as on point as he was for Valdez and Nunez. So I think you're going to get
thing too. Like I mentioned it earlier with the nutritionist guy. He's making 130, a bit healthier now. He's retaining more of his energy, more of his power. It's one of those fights, Sean, where if Foster, any of those demons of the past, where Foster has those lulls, and some fighters they can be great at what they do, but there's just some things fighters do on a subconscious level. They don't even know they're doing it sometimes. You have these lulls against a guy like Vaquero. He can take the play from you. He can win those very crucial moments, win the battle of body language, and we know the history of boxing, Sean, in Texas. The Black American fighter versus the Mexican pressure fighter in Texas. It's very hard to get a decision in a close fight. Just calling it for what it is. But like I said, I right now I don't have a prediction, but I think it's ending in a split, no matter who wins the fight.
Well, what makes that exciting though is, okay, of course there'll be a huge Mexican contingency there for Navarrete, for the Cowboy, but Shock is from Texas, and he drew a decent crowd to Raymond Ford and won. So that means they're going to rock with him even more this time. So that's going to be a great crowd. You're going to have Black American fans there, Mexican fans there, and both fans are going to actually feel like their guy is going to win the fight. They're not just showing up to support. They both are going to feel like our guy's going to get in the other guy's ass tonight. So
it might be, I don't know, man. I feel like in terms of just the pure raw energy of what's going to be in the arena that night, it might be the most electric night of American boxing this year. I know, they had Shakur Tio earlier this year, but
that fight was a dud. Shakur won wide, but that fight sucked. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Great job by Shakur. Wins the lineal title. Schools Teofimo. The fight sucked. That fight is going to deliver Shockey and Navarrete. And
it's two guys with a lot to prove. It's at the right time. Like neither guy has achieved so much stardom and made so much money to the point where like they feel like this is beneath them. This is what they need to get to that next level. And when you have this kind of fight that puts you in a whole other stratosphere if you win, that makes you go to a whole other level in training. You eat different, you rest different. Everything is different because the other guy wants it as bad as you. So that's the allure of that fight to me, just initial thoughts wise.
That's a real quality fight, a real fight fans fight. Neither guy is anywhere close to being some crossover star. Navarrete, he has the respect of Mexican boxing fans. He's been one of the true action fighters and warriors of this era of boxing. Shock is a very respected quality champion, knocking on the door of the pound for pound list. Navarrete's been right there at the bottom for little spots, but it's two guys who have proven for a long time now they are very quality professional world champions. Who's going to be elite? Who's going to leave the other in the very good quality realm, and who's going to take that next step up to elite? I think to your point earlier about some muscle memory of Foster not always throwing enough shots, I would be optimistic for him that after stepping it up late against Raymond Ford, going through the experience now of losing his title to Conceição because he was too judicious in his punch output, I think he's going to know better heading into a fight with Navarrete. I think now, to your point, he's still going to be himself, and that could rear its ugly head and cost him some close rounds due to the activity. And Navarrete might make him say, oh, shit, this motherfucker can punch, and he's tough to deal with, and make him keep his hands home more than he needs to win the fight. But I think Foster is going to let it hang out. And if he loses, it's because Navarrete's a better man. It won't be because he beats himself in part.
It's like to Joel's comment in the chat, you know, it has the feel of one of those early 2000s HBO boxing fights. You know, I feel it does. I mean, I would agree with that statement. Another thing too, Sean, is the people underestimate the how rangy Vaquero actually is, and it's not just him being unorthodox. It's not just the volume punching or his power, but it's all that with the range. You know, if you're in a fight that's really close, where both guys do a lot of things high level, if the guy who's the technical fighter is throwing, let's say, 3 less punches around or 2 less punches around in a fight like this, that makes all the difference. And with Vaquero's range, that could also be a factor. It's just a dynamite fight. It's finalized now.
Yeah, October 24th. I'm pulling up.
Then boxing fans rejoice. There's a lot of bitching and moaning about what we don't get in the sport. Who's ducking who? I don't want to hear about none of that. You know what? To everybody out there, pause the Devin and Shakur and the Shakur and Devin and Keyshawn Devin. Listen, forget all that for a second and let's just rejoice. Let's be happy. Let's celebrate this as one of the true great fights of the year.
I'm going to Texas.
I'm gonna go to, I'm making a decision right here on air. Like, I was supposed to go to Japan in the middle of next month. There's some fights out there I wanted to go see. I've been dying to go to Japan the whole year. I'm gonna postpone it. I'm going to Texas. I can't miss this fight. I can't.
So I'm going to. Now, shout out to Boog, L-Dub Boxing in there. Z Raymond says that was terrible. Kay Scott is a glorified soccer mom. That's a funny comment. But still, she was WBC, WBA champion, and she stopped her. So
I'm gonna push back slightly on that. You know, she was champion. A glorified soccer mom would have been like,
it's funny.
Denisa Estrada when she fought Miranda Atkins. That was glorified soccer mom, literally. Or she might have actually been a soccer mom.
Maybe some of these soccer moms are tough, man. But let me Raphael 32. Shout out to Raphael. He's always in the chat, but he said you're kind of off tonight, Zattel. That he's saying Shakur and Tio was a great fight. I don't think so. I think it was Tio falling in with a lot of right hands, crossing his feet. Yes, that's because the distance control by Shakur Stevenson, his step back game, but it was a lot of step back, an accurate jab, and I do mean occasional left hand to the head or to the body, and a lot of faces by Shakur Stevenson, and a lot of going back to the corner, making faces and telling Wally Moses, and I'm going to stop him. I'm stronger than him. And not even making an effort to stop him. And a lot of Tio throwing shots to the body that Shakur absorbed with no effectiveness. And then Shakur hurting Tio to the body, but only throwing one every minute or two. And that was it. That was the fight. It wasn't an exciting fight. It wasn't a great fight. It was Shakur has great balance. He had a great step back game. His jab was really good when he did throw it, but he didn't throw a lot of punches. He didn't put together any combinations. He didn't counter punch that often. Whenever the few times he let his left hand go, it was very accurate. But
and he didn't press forward in a fashion to put the exclamation point on the fight. And we're not.
Terrence and Andre Ward both told him this after the fight.
Not saying anything that his big bros haven't told him himself. So it's like, if you got a problem, we gotta say, then make sure you take it up with Terrence and Andre too. You know.
Is it great to win the lineal super lightweight title in decisive fashion? Of course it is. You know, I think he's already a Hall of Fame fighter at like 28, 29 years old, but that fight wasn't that exciting. It wasn't some masterpiece that people were making it out to be on the night, like it was Crawford Spence or Hopkins Trinidad or Inoue versus Fulton. You know, those are, or Andre Ward. Andre Ward dismantled guys over 12 rounds like Kessler and Abraham in much more entertaining and versatile fashion, mixing it up on the inside, hurting them in the body, throwing combinations, countering, leading, busting them up, you know. So, and I know you'll say, okay, well, Tio had a cut over his eye, and it just that's how I see it. I think that's what it was. I don't even think that's how I see it. It just is what it is. He threw no combinations. He never stepped on the gas. His counters were sparing. He usually just did a step back jab. That was his main counter. Tio looked really bad. Shakur made him look really bad. But guys like Jermaine Ortiz and Sandor Martin with their back foot game showed the same thing. Shakur, because he's much better than them, took it a step further and won in dominant fashion where those guys fell short. But it's a great accomplishment to win the super lightweight title in your first fight at that weight class, but it wasn't some classic
It
great
just wasn't a
performance.
performance.
It was a classic performance in terms of young fighters will study it to learn how to master this
how
one
to
thing
disarm a
distance.
more explosive fighter, more athletic fighter. You know.
So, anyways, that's what we think, Rafael. But thanks for being in the chat. We appreciate your input. Chiquian, thank you for the super chat. Says, what if Shock Navarrete comes down to the weight? Both guys been making 130 for years. Shock much more. Well, that evens up the score though. Shock's a big 130, who's probably his body does want to go to lightweight, but Navarrete, sometimes he's a fat bastard who doesn't like to come in shape himself. So all things being considered equal, you know.
Also, he like I know he got the nutritionist and he had a great weight cut for the Nunez fight, but he hasn't had so many great weight cuts in a row to where you can say, okay, we know he's gonna come into fight by fight on weight, focus on weight, you know, retaining more strength. You know, you just don't know him either. You know, he's got that flabby build, and he probably wants to go to 35 himself.
Someone did mention the Zepeda fight with Shakur. Now that was a great fight. Now that was a special night.
I'll give him that one.
Absolutely, and that win ate really well for him. Yeah,
the finest of wines, especially when you consider what Zepeda did to Lamont Roach, you know, earlier in the month.
I love that fight. The T.O. fight, that fight sucked, but the Zepeda fight, love that fight. Floyd and Gotti was a masterpiece. Absolutely,
it's the fight that everybody likes to reference whenever a fighter now has a good performance or an above average performance. It was Floyd Gotti, you know.
And every fighter says, I'm about to do a Floyd Gotti. Yeah. Or their fan base really says, this is about to be like Floyd Gotti, and then it basically never is. So, but all right, chat. Anything else you want us to touch on before we get out of here? I'm going to play some Marvel Tokon. It's 1:30 in the morning where Brendan's at. I got to wake up and record with Raheem in the morning, do the Porterway podcast.
Shit, I gotta go. I still gotta make my post-fight review video, and who knows? Maybe I'll even go live.
You can clip this too, Brendan.
I'm definitely gonna clip that. I might just clip this and go live tomorrow when I'm rested. But
you can rest, yeah. What we got? Fantasy fight: Fundora versus Paul Williams at 154. That's a good one. C Money.
That's a fight where the fans would win. Man, would you pick Fundora? It would be Paul Williams. I don't know. I just have. I know they're not the same fighter, but I just think of Sergio Martinez.
Yeah, but he beat Martinez. He out hustled him. It was close. It was controversial, but he did beat Martinez in the first fight. He out hustled him.
But he's gonna exchange with Fundora. Fundora's got ridiculously dense bones. I could see Fundora winning that fight. As crazy as it sounds, you know, because Paul Williams was dangerous, a bad man.
I'm biased to my era. I'm gonna say Paul Williams.
Oh,
about that. I'm biased to my era. I'm gonna give this slight edge to Paul Williams. And you know, Paul can move through 100 punches around. He's better. He has a better jab than Fundora, and he had feet too.
I don't think it's fair to even ask about that fight right now. I don't think we've seen the best Fundora yet. He's still in his progression towards his best.
I think he's peaking right now, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Next, 1 to 2 fights, 3 fights are going to be the best versions of him. So we've already seen the full picture of what Paul Williams is. Let's wait till we see the full picture of Fundora.
Yeah, that's true. So on 2000s bias alone, I will give the slight edge.
The boxing.
And again, he had good feet.
Yeah. Good feet. Two-fisted. Vicious. Damn,
couldn't punch like Fundora, though.
Would have been a great fight.
Aaron Pryor or Shakur? I might go Pryor. I don't know.
Hector Camacho.
Camacho against Shakur at lightweight.
But we were talking about that recently.
We might have gone with Camacho, man. I different eras, bro. Like
that'd be the Puerto Rican super fight, Hector Camacho Jr.
You go back and forth. Some people are like the evolution. Fighters were easier to hit back then. They don't have the strength and conditioning programs of now. But then there's other times I'm just like, I think they were just better. There's other times I just think those eras were better eras of boxing. I don't know. I go back and forth, but
bloviating about strength and conditioning. These dudes are 6-round fighters. A lot of these guys be 6-round fighters these days.
I would go Aaron Pryor. I think that's too much volume and angles and I mean, okay, Pryor is going to be there to be hit, but how much is Shakur going to hit him?
Wait, at what 140 pounds or 135?
Yeah, and Pryor could punch with both hands and was swarming and Pacquiao-esque. I'm going to go Pryor.
I'll go with Shakur.
You going to go with Shakur over Aaron Pryor?
We'll go with Shakur Stevenson, yes.
All right. Not mad at that. I tend to go old school.
I mean,
not every time.
I like the old school fighters better. I mean, I'm binge watching HBO boxing to keep my sanity and my love for the sport. But styles make fights.
I wouldn't mind a couple more fantasy matchups. I'm not mad at this.
Hello.
Pacquiao Spence would have happened. Who do you think would have won? I think I was given the edge to Spence at that time in their careers. In Pacquiao's prime, Pacquiao all day. Hagler or Canelo at 60?
The marvelous one.
Yeah.
Well, work rate.
Canelo, yeah, work rate, but Canelo's more explosive than him.
Yeah, I think he would win the battle on the inside, smother him, outwork him.
I think the work rate. I'll go Hagler, but
Hagler or Terrence Bud Crawford.
Hagler. I can see Crawford though. He's longer, he's rangier, he's a little faster.
I think I'll go.
Huh?
I think I'll go Crawford.
Definitely the Hagler that lost to Leonard loses to Crawford.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I'm thinking about Sugar Ray Leonard and how he was able to. You know what? We can't even talk about that. Terrence never fought on 160.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. Terrence might have got him. Even Canelo might have beaten Hagler. Hagler was not that big a guy in today's, but he's only 5'9". That's back when guys were weighing in the same day. So, guys rehydrate to be a lot bigger than Marvin Hagler now. But I do feel like, I don't know, I'm thinking of the Madrimov fight and the way Madrimov could switch stances and Crawford couldn't always keep him off. Crawford, though, I get it, though. He's longer.
But if like the Ray Beltran, Canelo version of Crawford, the guy that's just focused on his boxing, circling the ring out of the southpaw stance, I think that guy could beat Hagler. Maybe get him late in the fight.
Who today could beat a prime Tony or Jones at 60? Nobody.
Especially
not in this 160. Not a fucking chance in hell. Andre Ward versus Beterbiev.
Andre Ward versus Beterbiev?
Yeah.
Man.
The Ward that showed up for the rematch against Kovalev, not the guy in the first fight, and not the guy that showed up in those first 3 fights against Alexander Brand, Edwin Rodriguez, and Paul Smith.
That's a great one. Unbiasedly, because Beterbiev is one of my favorite fights, but unbiasedly, Ward in a very close decision.
He's shit though. Betterbiev's really fucking good.
But like the Beterbiev that fought the Nail in 2019, I think people forget about that guy.
Joe Smith?
Yeah.
Beterbiev has cinder blocks for hands, underrated feet, doesn't need to load up to hurt you.
He doesn't. I mean, look at that first Kovalev fight. Kovalev had him staggered around the ring with a jab, and I like the Crusher was phenomenal in his time, but Beterbiev is a better version of that, a stronger version of that.
He's better overall than Kovalev, but
after 5 rounds.
Yeah. He's better than Kovalev all around, no question. But Kovalev was a little bit more proficient at long range, which is where he caught Ward.
Correct. But Ward, Ward likes to close that gap, and that would have been a great one. It's unfortunate we never got it. That Ward already achieved what he felt he needed to, and then got out the sport. And I know people will say, well, like he ducked Beterbiev, but Beterbiev and Bivol were very much on the comp at that point. Like Bivol fought Cedric Agnew on the Ward Kovalev undercard.
Yeah, I'm not mad if you got Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev is a greater all-time light heavyweight than Andre Ward. Put in more work, became undisputed. Head-to-head, I'll give an edge to Andre Ward. And if people think I'm being biased to the American, that's okay. But I give a slight edge to Ward. And then Ward versus Benavidez, I give the edge to Ward. But if Ward were for some reason to ever fight a cruiserweight against David Benavidez, I got Benavidez. Benavidez looked so good against Zurdo. He looked like he would be a tough fight for prime Roy Jones that night. 100%.
Yeah, and then
Benavidez was special in May, man. I know Zurdo showed up, whatever.
So there's a code of ethics in the media when you sit press row. You're not supposed to fan out and go crazy, but there's certain performances, guys. I've only experienced a handful of them. There's certain performances where even the most professional media members they'll be beside themselves. You know, like that fight was one of them. I think back to like Roman Gonzalez versus Kaye fight. That was one where I remember seeing guys ringside going kind of crazy. So special guy. Hopefully he continues to get the big fight so we can see just how great Benavidez is against everybody's new flavor of the month, Jai Opetaia, you know.
I think he beats Opetaia, but it's a tough fight.
I think it'll be Opetaia. And I like Jai, but I just what I don't like is how all the people that don't care about Jai Opetaia all of a sudden are latching onto him just because they hate Benavidez or what they feel he represents.
Yeah. No, and I want to see the fight too. And Opetaia with his feet, southpaw, punches hard, athletic, strong. You know, he would be the best opponent to this date of Benavidez' career, but I think Benavidez is just a more special talent as an overall package. Faster hands, better upper body movement, and I think once that fight goes on and Benavidez navigates the left hand and gets closer, the worse it gets for Opetaia. But he could get hurt early in that fight. Opetaia would have to hurt Benavidez early in that fight with his left hand.
Really get it.
Some range and some respect. So, will Benavidez ever go back to 75? I don't think so.
Nah, that's past.
What about Inoue versus Barrera?
Inoue versus Barrera at featherweight?
Yeah, even though Inoue's never fought at featherweight.
I fought at featherweight, and then, he's never really been in a rush to do it, so.
It's hard to say. I think Barrera loves Inoue, and Inoue said that was his favorite fighter growing up. I have that interview on the channel, and Barrera, he said he thinks Inoue probably would have beat him, and because Barrera is very humble, unlike my favorite Morales, like Julio Cesar Chavez.
I thought Inoue versus Eric Morales.
I think Morales beats him. He's a little too tall. But at 122, I don't know. Morales was really young, and I think at 26 or 30, I'd go Morales. 22, Inoue might have beat Morales, but I think at 26 with Barrera, the Barrera that fought Hamed, that's just a great fight. That's a great fight. It's hard to say.
I think Eric Morales was too educated for Naoya Inoue. Like explosive too.
And the size. It's a size difference.
Explosive, fightful, but also like very, very educated in his own right.
Yeah, Morales is special. Attorney Bailey says Inoue easy. Jones beat Barrera. Jones was a puncher, but Jones made Barrera better. We're talking about 126 Barrera, who fought Hamed and outboxed his ears off. Beat a lot of good fighters, some old fighters like Kevin Kelly and Johnny Tapia at 26, who were kind of undersized. But Barrera at 26 was a different animal than the guy that Junior Jones knocked out. And Junior Jones, long arms. So, yeah, but you might be right. Attorney Bailey might be right.
Yeah, we'll never know. I'll tell you.
versus Ariel Helwani. I body him in boxing, and he probably fucks me up in anything else besides boxing.
Yeah.
He's got to know some shit, some MMA shit that I can't.
It does. I was gonna say that anyway. One fight I've talked about before on my channel is at a lower weight class, Inoue versus Mark Too Sharp Johnson. I thought would have been a crazy fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Inoue at 115 against Tapia.
Johnny would have been crazy.
Tapia was a fucking problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because Tapia, I mean, he could box. He had a great gas tank in his prime. That would have been a good one. I mean, there's so many guys you could have matched Inoue up with.
Yeah, Too Sharp, Barrera, Johnny Tapia, those all would have been really fun fights. Who?
Humberto Gonzalez.
Ricardo Lopez, maybe at 108.
Oof.
Although I think Lopez was on his way down once he moved up.
There was the fight that the first time you ever talked about Inoue on video on True School, Inoue versus Roman Gonzalez. If they would have actually met up and did their thing.
Yeah, I think Inoue would have won. Gonzalez relies on that one range and one style a little bit too much for someone like Inoue with his power, speed, and feet.
I don't know, man. I think he had a way of cutting that distance on you and being very efficient, blocking and parrying. He could take. I mean, if they would have fought, it would have been a younger Inoue. It wouldn't have been Inoue as a seasoned pro. So there's know-how there that he could have used to be Inoue. But yeah, I mean, Roman Gonzalez, when he fought guys like Rung Vasai and even Valoria, like even in one of his best performances, there was a moment in that fight where he got buzzed and whatnot. So obviously, I mean, Inoue could have exploited it. It's just a shame it didn't happen.
Yeah, the lower the weight and the earlier in Inoue's career, the more it helps Gonzalez. Obviously, once you get to 15 and 18, it's going to favor Inoue. But 112, 108 might have been Chocolatito's fight. You're right. But let's get to this before we get out of here, too. Is Bam fighting the Japanese monster before March? No. Robert Garcia knows what he's doing. He knows that Bam's not ready to make that jump. Look, Inoue fought 4 years as a bantamweight at 118. He's now fought 4 years as a 122-pounder. Why in his right mind would he allow Bam, who's had one fight at 118 this year, then jump up to 122 to fight like the greatest 122-pounder ever alongside Morales and Wilfredo Gomez? Why would he do that? He's going to tell us in the media, yeah, we want the fight. But no, he knows what Robert's going to try to do, and what's smart on his part to do, is time the fight where Inoue is starting to slip and get older, and Bam is now comfortable at 122, and then time it at the right time for Bam to beat him. And if he can tee that up and time it up in 18 months from now, something like that, 2 or 3 fights from now, it could work. He could. I think that if it goes down like that, I think Bam would be Inoue. But Bam jumping up right now after one fight at 118 or 2 fights at 118 and then going straight to 22 against Inoue, it'll probably be him biting off more than he could chew. And Robert knows that as well as anybody.
Yeah, no, he's a smart manager. And the thing is, there's good fights there at 22. There's good fights there at 118. Like, I don't know the Inoue side's gonna do this, but if they could get Takuma Inoue in the ring, for a championship fight, that I think that would make the Naoya fight bigger. And one thing about Inoue is, and people hate when I say this, but I've seen the guy in person like 7 or 8 times. Like I know how small he is. The fact that we even consider him going to featherweight and beating any of those guys up there, it shows you how great he is, because he's not a big guy at all. So if they can find opponents from at 122, if they can create opponents at 122 and keep them there, I'm talking about Inoue, they absolutely will. I know there's been a lot of talk about him going to featherweight, and I could see him going up there for like a Bruce or a Brandon Figueroa. I think stylistically those are very good fights for him to become 5 division champion. But at the end of the day, they know how small he is. He's put his body through a lot the last year and a half, constantly being in camp. And I think though I've heard chatter in Japan of them like even trying to consider a Ryosuke Nishida fight. Like if anybody emerges at 18 or 22 for him to fight, he's gonna fight them and not go to featherweight.
What if Brandon Figueroa is his Antonio Margarito Manny Pacquiao fight? Pacquiao fought Margarito at a catch weight of, I believe, 150 pounds to win the WBC super welterweight title to make it 8 divisions. Figueroa, like Margarito, just big and absorbs a lot of punishment. And Pacquiao, beat the shit out of Margarito, but Margarito landed a wicked body shot that let Pacquiao know he was fighting men too big and sent him back down to welterweight. It was just a one-time only thing. What if that's Inoue Figueroa? Inoue goes up to featherweight, beats the shit out of Brandon Figueroa, but Figueroa, with his durability and his size, he imposes himself enough to let Inoue know you shouldn't be fighting at this weight class. And then after successfully grabbing that title at featherweight, he goes back down to his real weight class, 122.
I think from a management standpoint, that's a very smart idea. I know people will say like, oh, well, what if Inoue goes undisputed at 126 and runs the gauntlet? Well, damn, that'd put him in a whole other stratosphere. But I don't like Sean. I don't think people really understand. Like, I don't think people really understand what Inoue means to Japanese boxing. Like, they think they do, but they don't.
Well, it shouldn't be hard to understand.
Like it shouldn't be hard to understand, but like, it's ridiculous. I mean, Sean, you've experienced a bit of it in the media, like when we covered the Cardenas fight, how micromanaged they were with what we could ask, we couldn't ask, and things like that.
You're covering a rock star.
You're covering
like someone with national security. Yeah. I probably gonna watch my back if I ever go to Japan because the shit from 2023.
He has agencies like you got to reach out to secure an interview with him, and if you do reach out to those agencies, they're only going to do the interviews with you if you're like, ESPN or, of course, like big time traditional media. Because, Japan is in many respects a very like old fashioned country. So I get it and I respect it. But I'm saying all this not to put him down. I'm saying this to say that they're not gonna put him in a overly risky position if they feel like it's gonna overwhelm him. Like, he's done great, and he's proven that he is one of the greatest fighters that's ever put on a pair of boxing gloves. But he's at a stage now where he's proven so much to everybody. He's been undisputed multiple times. He's been a world champion in 4 weight classes. He's now at that stage where now even the guys that have belts that aren't as skilled as him, they're still big as hell compared to him, and that can make up for a lot of the skill discrepancy. And they understand.
They're younger than him too,
and they're younger than him. And boxing ultimately is a young man's game. So their job and the job of any team in boxing, make no mistake about it, is to keep your guys winning and healthy as long as you can.
Yep. So should I chat? Who else here has been obsessed with Marvel Tokon? But I need to stream this game, chat. Let me know if I need to stream this game soon. Again, I got to show them at least a little bit of this Marvel Tokon before we get out of here. Hey, Joel, you see it, brother. I'm wearing it all summer. Summer's almost done, but I'm wearing it. Let's see. So you're saying Inoue is bigger than Shohei Ohtani? No.
No. Okay. Let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes, guys.
Baseball is just a bigger sport than boxing, unfortunately.
Baseball is literally the national sport of Japan, and right by Ohashi Gym, where Inoue trains, there's Shohei Ohtani stuff everywhere.
Right.
You could be anywhere in the country of Japan. You could be at the gas station. You could be at the damn cell phone store. You could be in the mall. You could be in West Japan, East Japan, whatever. You're going to see Shohei Ohtani stuff everywhere.
Come on, son. Nobody wants to smoke on Tokon. Let's go.
Michael Nunn versus Boots. That would have been a great one. Shout out to Michael Nunn in the background. I got Michael Nunn.
I think Boots is better than Michael Nunn, but Michael Nunn was #1 pound for pound.
Michael, nah. Forget all that. I'm being biased. We going Michael Nunn.
Yeah.
He's right there. Not above my right shoulder for no reason.
Yeah, right there behind you. I'm not mad at it.
Ace Money. I'm not saying Inoue needs the American market, but do you think his promoter dropped the ball, not pushing him over here?
No. Dropping the ball would have been trying too hard to push him here and eventually not building him into a guy who's commanded the biggest money in the weight class's history by far. He even exceeded the earning of Nassim Hamed, who is the most like lucrative featherweight in boxing history.
He's the first fighter in boxing history to headline and shut the Tokyo Dome since Mike Tyson.
Chat. You're doing the thug thizzle. Keep talking to him, Brandon. I'm gonna fuck.
He's the first fighter, to headline a show at the Tokyo Dome since Mike Tyson. And Naoya Inoue.
Oh shit.
Naoya Inoue, like he signed that deal with Top Rank. What was it in 2019 or 2020? So my thing is this, and I had videos from back then talking about this. If there was ever a concerted effort to really make him a star in America, it would have started in around 2019 or 2020 when Top Rank first signed him. And the way you would have gone about that is you would have had Inoue consistently, or at least once a year, boxing in markets like LA or the Bay Area, San Francisco, a place where there's a high concentration of Asian Americans. Now, to this day, Inoue has never boxed in LA. He's never boxed in the Bay Area. So therefore, that ship has sailed, and you can sit there and complain and say, oh well, he could have been bigger in America, but who cares? Like honestly, if you're putting 50,000 asses in the seats anywhere, you're okay. Like you're doing more than okay for yourself. And to his credit, when he fought Ramon Cardenas, who is not a big name, and a lot of people at that time consider that fight to be a cherry pick, he still sold roughly 8,500 tickets at the T-Mobile last year, which I know is
Get
not.
Fucked.
Huh?
Get fucked.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
As Sean's Marvel Tokon.
I just had to show them one match before we get out. I'm Iron Man.
He wasn't that far off selling 10,000 tickets at a T-Mobile Arena, and this is at a time where, it was Cinco de Mayo weekend. People were kind of pissed off that Canelo had sold out the Mexicans and was fighting William Skull in Saudi that week. And he delivered a great action fight, and I'm pretty sure if Inoue would have come back to Vegas, I believe he would exceed those numbers in another fight. I think
yeah, especially he could probably sell out MGM against Bam.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was the first fighter, and I've made sure I've checked with all the best Japanese sources I can get a hold of, like Daisuke Segura, the great rider from Japan. He was the first.
Watch this. Huh? We're gonna go Megazord on him. We're gonna finish him with the Megazord Iron Man. Watch. Yak! Get
him, Sean.
Hold up. Beat that ass. Do we do a rematch? No, we don't. I just wanted to.
I was saying, let me finish my point.
Ass online. You see it.
I talked to Daisuke Segura, who's interviewed Inoue more than anybody, and I asked him, I said, hey, man, has there ever been a Japanese fighter to ever have the picture on the MGM Grand like this? He said, no, this is ridiculous. This is special. This is a once-in-a-lifetime type of a thing for fighters from our country. So, he's more than tick the boxes of being a great star for the sport.
JK Production says, I don't think you guys glaze Inoue enough. It's funny. There's a lot of people who genuinely feel like that about us. We know you're kidding, but
all right.
I'm surprised how many people get angry with me about Inoue. What's funny?
Hold on. Wait, I don't glaze him enough. Look, let me show you something.
No, he's being sarcastic, but
okay, all right. He's right there, and then he's over there on the wall over there.
So how everybody, they know me as saying Inoue took PEDs and is arrogant and all that. Hold on, and I've always said that was an out of context clip where I mentioned a whole bunch of other fighters. I believe I have the clip right here. Hold on. Here it is. Here was the actual clip that they never share alongside of it.
Suspect because Vada came in, or no? Oh yeah, very suspect. Very suspect. Yeah, Inoue might be juicing.
But watch.
At this level, a lot of guys might be juicing. We know Pacquiao, Canelo, Roy Jones, Evander Holyfield, Sugar Shane Mosley. Floyd had some IV fluids drained the night before Pacquiao. This is professional sports, man. Conor Benn, Caleb Plant has the same physique as Conor Benn. You know, and on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And then even
so again, you'll notice I mentioned Canelo and Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones and Shane Mosley and Caleb Plant and Conor Benn. And I was the guy who asked David Benavidez and got him really pissed at me for asking about his association with Memo Heredia. I was the guy who released that Victor Conte said he knew how to beat the test around the Devin Haney-Brian Norman fight with him in Devin's camp. So that's all. I should drop that clip in full one day, because that's all people did was run with the Inoue stuff. Like, I singled him out when I mentioned fighters from every different country and demographic. And anyways,
you should drop it like in the build up to Inoue's next fight.
I just didn't drop it because then I'm like, well, now I'm gonna have everybody's fans and all the fighters mad at me because I mentioned everybody. Like,
there wasn't to be at you.
Bad enough I had one fan base and one fighter mad. Like, why make it worse by saying everyone? So, but for the 200 loyal Sean Zattel subscribers, there you go, guys. There's the truth.
Ace Money says, yo, BT, would you say Japan is more strict? Would you say Japan is more strict on BT than are they more strict on me? They're more strict on everything. It's a country of rules. Respect it. I love Japan. I mean, I have a Japanese flag on my wall because I love the country so damn much. But yeah, they're very serious about preserving their culture, and I definitely get it. So I mean, hey,
my sister-in-law who works for Bungie, and has Japanese friends from working in the gaming industry. She said, it's a great country and everything. She's like, but beneath the smiles and the Pokemon and the Dragon Ball and the anime and is a very serious country that doesn't quite allow the freedom of all this crazy shit we have in the United States. And there's a positive that comes with that, right? There's less degeneracy and right, but what did the PR guy of Inoue tell you? He said, in Japanese media, we don't go too far left or right.
Yeah. What's that guy's name?
We stay in the lines.
Yes. Yes. I won't drop no names because I don't want, but there was a
tough talk with Brendan.
There was an incident. So I got to paint a picture for you guys. Okay. I covered Inoue Yi Jun Kim January of 2025. I got access backstage to Inoue Yi Jun Kim in 2025. I recorded Inoue walking by me to the ring for Yi Jun Kim in 2025 and put it up on True School Sports. And this caused quite a stir because I violated the rules, which I wasn't trying to. I love Japan. I'm not trying to violate no rules and get jailed in another country. But a couple of days after that fight, I go to Corkin Hall, great venue, historical venue for a club show on one of my last days of that trip. And one of the very prominent people from Tekken Promotions just yells out, "You violated the rules! You violated Japanese law!" I was like, "Yo, chill, man. What's up? Like, let's talk it out. Let's be cool. Let's be cordial, man." And I was trying to hash things out. He wasn't really interested in hashing nothing out, right? So then Inoue fights Cardenas. I see that same said person, and he's a big, strong guy. He works out, he takes care of himself, But he sent somebody else to talk to me. He sent the American version of Tekken Promotions to come talk to me, who wasn't even there, who barely ever goes to Japan, right? I probably go to Japan more than him at this point, that guy. But that guy comes and Sean was there. Sean seen it. He sat me down and he said, "You see the Japanese media over there, Brendan? They don't go to the left or they go to the right. They just stay with the story." And I'm like, "So what you mean? Like, we're in America. I'm gonna express
what I gotta say." Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's different.
Yeah. So, but all right, guys, it's trailed off now into talking about junior featherweights. Claressa Shields is the star of the night. We consider people mentioning Kaye Scott is a 42-year-old with 7 pro fights. That is definitely worthy of the context, but ultimately, a star continues to grow her stardom, puts on a star-like performance in front of a pretty much, it would appear to be sold-out crowd in Atlanta, sends them home happy with a vicious left hook that really ended the fight, stops Kaye Scott on her feet. She's got a really entertaining, appetizing fight with Michaela Mayer in front of her. If Mayer can get past Chantel Cameron, Tamara Thibault is the best threat to her by far at middleweight or above. But it is a star-like performance from a real star in the sport right now from the GWOAT, Claressa Shields. We consider the depth and talent pool in these weights she's fighting at, but her dominance cannot be overlooked.
21 times, damn it. 21 times.
21-time world champion. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. God bless you all. And keep it locked in on True School Sports and check back in with me tomorrow for some videos I'll be dropping with my man, Radio Raheem. So thanks, everybody, for your time.
Peace.
Peace.